The Soviet Central Red Army in exhibition with teams of the National Hockey League. Live on CTV, Super Series 80. Brought to you by Molson, Canada's name in beers since 1786. Brewers of Molson Export Ale. Teams of the NHL in exhibition with the Soviet Union.
Exactly 4 years ago tonight, New Year's Eve 1975, the Montreal Forum was the scene of one of the classic hockey games of all time. It was Super Series 76, and it was the meeting between the Montreal Canadiens and the Soviet Red Army team. On this play, early in the third period, Boris Alexandrov scores the final goal of the game, and the Soviets come out of it with a 3-3 tie, despite being outshot by the Canadiens 38-13. Tonight, live from Montreal, Super Series 80 presents the Soviet Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens in a rematch of that classic played exactly 4 years ago. Good evening, everyone, and New Year's Eve greetings from the Forum in Montreal. My name is Dick Irvin. I am the host of our telecast, our second in this series of games involving teams from the Soviet Union against National Hockey League opposition. And tonight, it's a natural, the Soviet champions against the Stanley Cup champions from Montreal. Joining me on the broadcast and supplying the play-by-play commentary will be Ron Roach, who did exactly the same thing last week in New York. And along with Ron is Tom Watt, our analyst and color commentator, the co-coach of the Canadian Olympic team. And right now, here's Tom.
Well, thank you, Dick. Here we are at ringside here, a very busy and excited Montreal Forum tonight because the fans are anxiously awaiting the game between perhaps the two best club teams in the world. And the Soviet team, they bounded back from that 1-0 first period deficit in New York when the Rangers were forechecking very, very hard. Varnikov scored the first of the two goals, left all alone at the side of the net on the first one, and then they took over in that second period to win the hockey game 5-2. And then, of course, in the second game, a game that was disputed a little bit, the Islanders not too happy with the officiating of the Soviet official, the 3-2 loss, and here we have Red Army coming in here with 2 wins, no losses, coming to meet the Stanley Cup champions.
Well, Tom, when we go into this game, I think we have to look at 2 separate individuals, one on each team. They're interesting because they play the same position, and each is equipped with blinding speed. We refer one to number 19 for the Soviet Central Red Army, Helmut Balderas. He used to play with Riga. He came over to the Army along with his coach Tikhonov, and that came after he had set a record in the Soviet Major League of 40 goals. The other, of course, is none other than Guy Lafleur, a right winger for the Canadiens, number 10. Lafleur, over the years, has, well, first of all, won the scoring championship 3 times. He's been the most valuable player in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's just done it all. Most valuable player, of course, in the league overall. So, Dick, as we go into this game, 2 players who can turn things completely around single-handedly, Balderas and Lafleur.
And so the scene is set on this, the final night of the decade of the 70s, for what we hope could turn out to be the classic rematch of the decade. The Soviet Central Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens. It's Game 2 of Super Series 80. We'll continue in a moment.
Montreal Canadiens, we are proud to present this evening an international game between the Red Army team, champions of Soviet Union, and the Montreal Canadiens. Et maintenant, l'alignement débutant de l'équipe de l'Armée Rouge. Let us now meet the starting lineup for the Red Army team. Le numéro 2, number 2, Vyacheslav Fetisov. Le numéro 7, number 7, Boris Mikhailov. Le numéro 14, number 14, Sergei Starikov. Le numéro 16, number 16, Vladimir Petrov. Le numéro 17, number 17, Valery Harlamov. Le numéro 20, number 20, Vladislav Tretiak. L'entraîneur de l'équipe soviétique, M. Viktor Tikhonov. Coach of the Red Army team, Mr. Viktor Tikhonov. Le reste de l'équipe de l'Armée Rouge. The rest of the Red Army team.
Well, Tom, I think it's interesting to see that the biggest man saved for Vyacheslav Tretiak. As we see the rest of the Soviet Central Red Army hit the ice here at the Montreal Forum, they've been pointing to this series, as of course have the Canadiens. Certainly it's the talk of the town here.
Well, I think, Ron, that certainly, especially in this building, Tretiak has had some of his better hockey games, and in that classic battle in '75, he did play exceptionally well, even though they were outshot by quite a margin, the Canadiens, in that day, but certainly Tretiak has played well in this building.
Le numéro 15, number 15, Régent Houle. Le numéro 18, number 18, Serge Savard. Le numéro 19, number 19, Larry Robinson. Le numéro 21, number 21, Doug Jarvis. Le numéro 23, number 23, Bob Daly. Dans les buts, and the nets, le numéro 33, number 33, Richard Sévigny. L'entraîneur du club de hockey canadien, the coach du club de hockey canadien, M. Claude Burrell, et les autres joueurs du Canadien, the rest of the Montreal Canadiens.
Now, Tom, I think you can see the pattern that we're going to see throughout this game. The checking line of the Canadiens involving Doug Jarvis, Bob Gady, and Ray-Jean Houle. We'll be seeing all kinds of action against Mihail Petrov and Harlamov.
Well, that's one thing that the Soviets do. They don't change the rotation. If you want to match against them, they'll let you match against them because they won't change the rotation no matter what happens.
Standing ovation in the Forum for the Canadiens here on this New Year's Eve.
You think these fans are up?
They won't stop. Isn't this great? Hasn't been what you'd call a vintage year for the Canadiens, but the fans have been behind them. Let him go.
Mesdames et messieurs, Mr. Roger Doucet et les hymnes nationaux. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roger Doucet and the national anthems.
Союз нерушимый республик свободных платила навеки великая Русь. Да здравствует создание более народов, единый могучий Советский Союз. Славься Отечеству! Наша свободная, дружбе народов надежных оплот, партия Ленина, сила народная, над торжеством коммунизма едет.
Montreal Canadiens and the Soviet Central Red Army are all set. We'll return with the opening face-off in just a moment.
Hello again, everyone, and Happy New Year from the Montreal Forum. The Canadiens against the Central Red Army. I'm Ron Roosh, along with Tom Watt. A couple of lineup changes for the Canadiens. Guy Lapointe not dressed. He has been suffering from the flu. He did not play the other night against Buffalo. Danny Jeffrion, the extra man for the Canadiens tonight. And not dressed for the Central Red Army, Sergei Babanov on defense. Vyacheslav Anasin. Also out will be Alexander Skvortsov and Sergei Kapustin as well. There are our officials for tonight's game. Bruce Hood, the referee, Claude Béchard, and Gérard Gauthier are our linesmen. And in the nets, we'll be seeing to the left of your screen the omnipresent Vladislav Tretiak and his average of 2.0 in this series. Richard Sevigny, the young rookie who's played very, very steadily since coming up after the injury to Denis Héron at 2.97. And we're underway in first period action. Here is from the faceoff. The puck is back to Serge Savard in his own end to Gainey at center ice. Jarvis has it. He clears it ahead for Uhl, and he's crossed the line. He's bumped out of the play by Fedosov. Jammed it against the corner. The puck is cleared around the boards by Starikov. Out over center ice. There'll be a race for the puck now as Harlamov goes in, and that's Mihailov going in. And it gets caught up, and the linesman is touched by Robinson and called. A little bit of a mess in the corner there, but it'll be brought down on the icing into the Soviet zone.
Well, Ron, just as they started in New York, the Soviets like that long pass through the center. They're always looking for it. The fans here not too happy. They think that's a deliberate icing call, but really they were looking for that winger who stays very, very high, coming between the point men, trying to get that quick breakaway to start the game off well for them. But the pass was a little stray and it went down and icing and back in their own zone.
We'll see a few members of the Challenge Cup team on this club, of course, from the Canadiens, as, of course, the Soviets, who have 14. Here's a chance from the face-off, and the shot's wide, taken by Savard at the blue line. Uhl clears it in front, and it bounces off the side of the net. It's cleared ahead. Balderas turning in his own zone. He's got that great speed. Ahead to Kasatonov. Kasatonov skating along his own line. At center ice, Shluptov couldn't knock it down. It goes down into the Canadian zone, and Robinson has it. Ahead for Gainey. Gainey bangs it off the boards. Robinson deep in his end. He'll take it behind. Forechecking in there now is Balderas, and it's out to center ice for Jarvis. Jarvis stopped up against the boards, shoots it to Uhl. Uhl stopped, and it's cleared down into the Soviet end of the ice. Kasatonov is back. He's number 21. Kasatonov, Luchenko back there. Change now as Lafleur's on the ice. That draws a reaction from the crowd. Lafleur has the puck as he intercepts, back checking. Lafleur back off the boards behind the net. Robinson jamming in against the boards. Right on top of him is Balderas, two number 19s. Puck is cleared along the boards. Lambert around the boards to the far side. Robinson will go in against Balderas. Robinson just backing along the boards, clears it out of the blue line, and the Soviets will have to regroup. Makarov back into his own zone. Kasatonov has it ahead for Makarov at center ice. Cleared ahead along the boards, but Savard intercepts that one. Now along the boards, that stop. Puck is cleared in. Robinson over for Savard. Lafleur trying to get loose, and he's stopped on the play, and Savard has to take it back into his own end again for Robinson. Has the forechecking a little intense right now. Along the boards, Robinson getting to the side of that. Cobean trying to get loose at the side, and he's stopped up on the play. And Robinson again. Here comes the big bird at center ice. A pass intended there at center ice. Shutt's got it now. Shutt against the far boards, clearing it in front. Lafleur unable to get free as he tried to split through the defense. Puck is still loose inside the zone, but it comes out to center ice, and leading the rush for the Soviets, that's Varnikov over the line. Varnikov trying to get it in front, and Lafleur is right there again. He's been all over the ice on this ship. Lafleur again, and he clears it to the line, but not out. Cobean swinging to the boards. Clears it in front of the net. Here's Varnikov's shot. That's blocked by Engblom. He pushes Varnikov in against the boards, and Lafleur is there. Lafleur ahead for Langway. The give and go as Lafleur missed that pass, and the Soviets return it. It's Kamayev, the big fella, shooting it into the corner. Langway, a long lead pass now at center ice. Weisbrau set his shot right on. It seemed to handcuff Tretiak. It goes to the boards, and Tremblay takes the shot, and he's wide with it. Langway at the blue line. Puck is in against the boards. Soviets with Starikov. Shooting it out over center ice, banged off the boards by Tremblay. They'll try again. The Soviets coming back in with Brodsky trying to shoot it in front of the net. He does, but unable to knock it down there was Volchkov.
into the corner. Now Drozdetsky again, number 11. He cleared it out in front. Lobanov was unable to get loose. Now shot back into the corner. After it is Volchkov. Volchkov, he's checked on the play by Langway. Volchkov slammed in against the boards, but here come the Soviets again is Lobanov. Lobanov is tied up by Risebrown. Cleared away now for Tremblay. Tremblay off the boards and Lambert. Lambert is checked very neatly by Starikov. Now Fedizov. Fedizov cutting in his own zone. Drops it off very neatly for Lubanov. Lubanov at center ice. Lubanov as the Soviets change on the fly. Trying to cut through the defense, and he's chased out of the play by Engblom. Taking over for the Canadiens. Lambert to Engblom. Engblom trying to backhand it out over the blue line. Player goes down on the play. Puck comes free. Langway didn't see it. Now he goes in against the boards. Langway jammed in there along with Mihailov, also piling in and holding it in. Will have a face-off. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80 on CTV. Face-off down to the left of Richard Sevigny. Harlamov facing off against Jarvis right now as he'll take the draw out to the point. There's a shot that's blocked at the defense as Uhl is coming up on the play. Kazanov back into his own end. Gainey cutting for the goal, and he had to go in too deep as Petrov checked him. Now Uhl back of the net being checked by Petrov. Cleared around the boards now. Mihailov going in against Robinson. Robinson's got the puck right to roll it in front, and Gainey was unable to reach it. Now on the far side, Luchenko trying to get it away, and he's unable to. It rolls right to the goal mouth, and it's just steered into the corner by Tretiak. Now at center ice, Harlamov. Harlamov checked by Jarvis. Puck still loose. Harlamov's got it from Petrov. Over the line, the shot, and it's off the stick of Savard. A stick is broken, and Savard didn't see that. It's whistled down, and we may see a penalty here. We'll see. Savard was playing with a broken stick, and Bruce Hood says, what can I do? You were playing with a broken stick, and that is the rule. So Savard's going to draw the penalty.
Well, that's a tough penalty to take at this point of the hockey game, but I think the game has started off the way all the fans really wanted to see the game. We had end-to-end action. We went after the first icing call from the Soviet team, which happened in the first few seconds of the hockey game. We went 4 straight minutes without a whistle. We had 3 changes on the fly in that time, and the action was just going end-to-end.
So Bruce Hood has called a tough one. As there Savard is in, the first statistical note of the game. The Canadiens out shooting the Soviets 2-0. Fans don't like the call. There's really no choice. Bruce Hood had to call that one, even though Savard himself did not know he was playing with it. Look at the announcement here from Michel Lacroix.
Canadiens penalty to number 18, Serge Savard. 2 minutes for playing with a broken stick at 4 minutes and 44 seconds.
Play back underway as the puck is out to center ice. The power play of the Soviets has not yet clicked in this series in 8 chances. Now back inside the zone, Fedizov, they call him the Bobby Orr of Soviet hockey, but he's coming off a pretty bad back injury from last year and is slow coming around. Starikov, who I thought was one of the stars of the game in the Rangers series, number 14, gives it back to Fedizov. Fedizov out at center ice, Harlamov coming to the line. He gets around, and Engblom made a great saving dive, but it's cleared out to the blue line. Starikov in for Harlamov. Back out to the blue line, Fedizov. Fedizov now into Petrov. Petrov with Mikhailov out in the slot. Mikhailov banned on it. Now the pass, and it's cleared out to center ice by Larry Robinson with 1:13 remaining in the penalty. Back to get it, Fedizov. Fedizov, watch for Mihailov. He's cruising along that blue line. It's cleared over the line. Petrov dropping it back. Fedizov is stopped on the play, and Uhl clears it down the ice. Every move by the Canadiens drawing a roar from the fans here early in this hockey game. We've just passed the 5-minute mark. Here come the Soviets once again. Starikov at his own blue line. Starikov at center ice shooting it in now. Out of the net is Sevigny. He'll leave it for Engblom. Engblom behind his net. Cuts around, tries to find a hole, finds it, and shoots it down the ice. Tretiak out of his net. Fedizov will get the puck. Lambert in for checking. Fedizov coming out of his end now. The Soviets have made a change. On the ice is Shlutov. Over the line now. Over for Makarov on the far side. Back out to Fedizov. Volchenkov with a shot. Hit the side of the net. Now behind the net, Balderas. It's cleared out to Lambert. Lambert backhands it out to center ice and down the ice with 14 seconds left in the power play. Volchenkov, number 13, back in his own end. He feeds it ahead. Fedizov on for this whole penalty. He's the only one who stayed out there. Out of the line. Balderas trying to find a man. 1 second left on the penalty. It's over. It's cleared in front of the net. It hopped over the stick there of Shlutov. Now Engblom off the boards and it's center ice. And Volchenkov will go back for it. Savard's out of the penalty box.
He heads for the bench. Chartrand's on the ice, and Robinson's got the puck at his own blue line. Over to the far side for Engblom. And he hit the referee, gets it again, rolls it down into the Soviet zone. Gimayev at center ice, trying to get by Gainey, and did. Now he hits the line. There's his shot, well wide of the net. On the far side, Balderas takes the bump. Now it's Slutov. He tried to clear it loose. It's out at center ice now. Risebrow with Robinson coming up in the play. Risebrow to get it in front to Robinson, but Robinson couldn't reach it as the shot was right on goal. I don't think Risebrow saw him on the play. But the score, 0-0. Super Series 80 pauses for a moment.
Line is poured. The only thing missing are the sounds to complete this.
There with Tremblay and Risebrow. Risebrow on the far boards. Langley couldn't reach it as he was outside the zone. Tremblay's got it. He backhands it into the corner. The Canadiens dig in after it. Luchenko's back there. He bangs it off the board. Slutov has to circle back now off the checking of Tremblay. Now it's Varnikov. Varnikov in the corner. He's chased back. Shots on goal at this moment, 6-1, favor the Canadiens. They have had the territorial edge. Luchenko now behind his own net. The forechecking again, intense by this line. Finally, circling away from the forechecking is Kasatonov, and he clears it out to center ice, a near break, but there was a two-line pass there. The pass out to Balderas, and it'll come back into the Soviet end of the top rim of the circle for a face-off to the left of Tretiak.
Well, Zhlukov there tried to just tip that puck as the pass came from deep in his own end and almost got a stick on it, which would have made it onside had Balderas touched it. But Zhlukov just missed the puck, and of course then it was a two-line pass going the far side of center ice.
Grostetsky, you saw sitting on the bench, a rookie, but he's right now 5th in league scoring in the Soviet League. He's one of the fine youngsters. Puck is in the corner now. Luchenko lost it there to Lambert. Back out to Risebrow. Went right through his legs. Langway's got it. Langway stick handling at the center red line. Shoots it in. And back to get it will be Luchenko. Luchenko in the corner. Beating it off there for Makarov. They roll it in front. Lambert's got a chance. And it rolled off the heel of a stick. And here comes Slutov at center ice for Balderas. And he is wrapped up literally by Langway. And Robinson goes back to make the recovery of the puck. Now it's Risebrow at center ice. He shoots it in. Fedosov knocks it down. He'll take it deep in his own end. Fedosov, as the Canadiens change on the fly. Shut in, forechecking. Here's Lafleur. Lafleur trying to get it to LaRouche, but he can't reach it. Now LaRouche gets a chance again, but it's kicked into the corner by Makarov. Lafleur in the corner. It's Fedosov trying to control it. Lafleur gets it again. It rolls out to the blue line. Balderas has it. Balderas, his pass intercepted by Robinson, and shoots it right in. Fedosov put it right on LaRouche's stick, and it's cleared behind the net on the backhand. LaRouche trying to get it out in front. He fanned on that. Now out at center ice for Kasatonov, and we're going to have a penalty. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80 on CTV. I think that we had some high sticking in the corner, and they're both going off, Lafleur and Covine. So teams will play a man short.
Penalties to the Red Army team, number 25, Vladimir Covine. And to the Canadiens, number 10.
Well, here we have the little altercation in the corner. Covine, who's a little nasty. Their sticks get a little high in the corner behind the play. They both get the 2 minutes.
Savard to Engblom now from the face-off. Team's playing a man short. Engblom to the line now, feeds it off to Mondu. Mondu getting set. He shoots right on the short side, and down goes Tretiak. He had it all the way. Looked a little spectacular. We'll get a chance to look at this one again.
Well, Mondu, who's very quick, here he are cutting around. You see him on his forehand to the net, has the shot, seems to handcuff Tretiak a little bit. He drops to the ice, trying to kill that rebound, because the last two plays, there were rebounds that came loose.
Here's a shot off a leg from Engblom. Mondu in the corner. Mondu trying to get it back to Engblom. Gimayev after it. He gets it out to center ice. Varnikov to the line now, one-on-one. Varnikov, and it's poked away from him by Serge Savard. That good check of his. Puck comes to the boards, and I think it hit Fedosov in the face. He started for the bench, and I think he'll head for the bench. He probably cut with it. Engblom. Varnikov off the boards for Shutt. Shutt with Mondu to the line. Shutt digging for the net now. Stops up against the boards. Fakes a shot, banned on it, and is poked down the ice. And there could be icing here as Savard goes back now along with Engblom. Savard will touch it back there, and it's called for the face-off. 1:07 left in the penalties.
Well, here we have Steve Shutt winding up, and really what happened when he pulled back his stick to shoot that puck, he caught the official, Bruce Hood, wasn't able to get the shot away, and I can tell you that Steve Shutt wasn't too happy with that play. In fact, he gave Bruce Hood a little bad time before he went off the ice.
Face-off will be deep in the Soviet end, and we've got Uhl out there along with Gainey now. Petrov just... Fetisov has just gone off to the dressing room now, so he's obviously suffered a cut of some sort. Here's Uhl breaking in now. Uhl trying to feed it off into the slot for Gainey, then fanned on it. It's behind the net. The Soviets have it. Yemaev feeding it ahead now. That quick lead pass to Lubinov. Lubinov down to the line now along with Mihailov, and he is ridden right out of the play by Rod Langway. Robinson has it ahead for Gainey. Gainey down the left boards, fighting off the check by Volchenkov. He's still after that puck. Gainey in the corner, gets it back to Langway. Langway winding up and hit a stick as Lobunov got in front of that, and Yemaev has got it deep in his own end. Yemaev at the blue line to center ice. Ahead for Mihailov. Now Volchenkov trying to work in on the net. Langway's on top of him all the way, chasing him around. Now out in the front, there's a shot, just grazed the post on the outside. And Langway has got the puck. Langway off the boards. Petrov can't knock it down. There's a battle for it as Weisbrau fights his way over the goal line. Weisbrau into the corner. Weisbrau tied up on the play with the score. 0-0. Super Series 80 pauses for a moment. Get a chance to see that close call deep in the Canadiens' end.
Here's perhaps the best opportunity that the Soviets have in the game. There's Lobunov as the puck came across on his forehand, shot very, very quickly.
So the face-off on the icing will be back in the Canadiens' end. Actually a two-line pass, so the point of origination of the pass. Petrov facing off against Jarvis. Jarvis trying to control it in the face-off circle, battles away. It's still loose in there. Jarvis still fighting for it and got it out over the blue line. Luchenko, Kazatonov clearing it in. And back to get it will be Savard. Savard forechecking Petrov. Lafleur skipping off that puck and then shoots it out to center ice, and Lambert overskates it. Soviets have it again. Harlamov put it off the stick of Savard to Lafleur. Lafleur shot! Oh, Phillip and Tretiak hung on the rebound. Oh!
Well, you can't give a player like Guy Lafleur that much room. He just picked up the puck just outside the blue line, moves over the line. Here you see both the Soviet defenders backing in quite a bit, giving him room to take that shot. Dead on Tretiak. There he is reaching, trying to pull that rebound back into his body. He has to reach, grabs that rebound, kills it. Here we have Dougie Reisberg just coming in late, trying to get that rebound, but it was killed.
Shots on goal at this moment, 9-1 favor the Canadiens. From the face-off in the corner, Lambert, Luchenko around the net on this side, and it's cleared out to center ice by Kazatonov, and back to get it now. Savard deep in his end. He gets it ahead to Lambert. Lambert has to chase it to the far side. Tremblay beats him to it. Try to get it ahead for Weisbrau there, and the Soviets come right back now. Over the line, Mikhailov. He's unable to get loose. Harlamov, his longtime line mate, skating along the blue line, works through the traffic, and then is tied up on the play by Tremblay. Here comes Weisbrau. Weisbrau with Tremblay. Over the line. His shot is right on the rebound, and Tremblay has tied up from behind. A good defensive play by Vladimir Petrov. We'll have a penalty call, I believe, for hooking against Petrov.
Who, me?
From the forum, the Soviet Central Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens in Game 2 of Super Series 80.
Well, there we see Vladimir Petrov. He picks up the penalty. He came back very, very well with the Canadian player, but actually he had him hooked all the way in, trying to prevent it. It would have been a 2-on-1 had he not come back, because one Soviet defender was caught up the ice. But a good job of back checking. But he had to hook the Canadian before going to the net, and he has the first penalty for the Soviets.
There's a chance for Napier, but he elects to put it back to the blue line. Robinson over for Lafleur. Lafleur into the corner now. Around the net, LaRouche digging in the far corner. LaRouche, Napier looking for Shutt out in front. Now he ducks around behind the net. They'll try and find a man now. Shutt trying to get loose. Napier gets it out to Robinson. He's got that good shot. There it goes, and it's just wide of the net. Lafleur to the side of the net now. Napier parked right out in front. Now Lafleur to the far corner. Lafleur looking for a man. Lafleur still with that puck now. Kurt shoots it right on, went off the both skates there of number 21, Kazatonov. And it is stopped up. We'll get a chance to see that one again, Tom.
Well, the Soviet defenders here, they give Lafleur lots of time, and you can't give him that time. Here he is. They didn't challenge him from their box. They're playing a very disciplined box. The shot comes from the side. Good shot. Tretiak makes the stop. It goes in the corner where it's played with a hand, called for the faceoff.
Well, the Canadiens have one of the best power plays in the NHL. And LaRouche, Shutt, Lafleur, along with Napier and Robinson. Here's Robinson on the backhand, feeds it in front. LaRouche shoots, and goes in front. Shutt
a very popular call here, but I don't think there's any question about it. Bruce Hood was right on the spot, in good position to see the play. The original shot was very dangerous, came down, but was tapped in with a high stick. Not only that, but the face-off has to come outside the zone. The Canadian players aren't putting up much of an effort. Here we see Robinson moving through, getting the little pass off the side, a super pass, the outlet pass. Here's the original shot. Now watch the puck come up in the air. Tretiak handles it. There's Schutt whacking it down. He's pretty good at whacking those out of the air, but I don't think there was any question about the call. Fans not too happy.
1:18 left in the power play as Robinson gets it to Lafleur. Lafleur stopped up against the boards, losing his stick there as Lobanov. It's in over the line. LaRouche couldn't get loose, and the puck is back out at center ice for Robinson. Robinson ahead. Now it's Napier. Napier with LaRouche caught offside. Napier's forced to circle back. Now drops it off to Robinson. Ahead for Schutt. Schutt over to the far side. Lafleur's digging into the corner after it now. Lafleur behind the net. He tried to flip it out in front. Now Napier goes back after it. And pile up of players there. Down goes one of the Soviet players with a puck underneath him. A check thrown by Lafleur there on Volchenkov. And the face-off will be in the Soviet end. Boy, lots of action. What a period of hockey these teams have put in. Shots on goal, 11-1. We're seeing exactly the same thing that happened New Year's Eve 4 years ago. Canadians completely dominating territorially the period, but unable to score against Tretiak.
Well, I think Tretiak has been the story of the first period because the Canadians certainly have had some good opportunities, good shots, and he's played well in this first period to hold it to a tie so far.
From the face-off now, Mondeau to Lafleur. Lafleur against the boards now. Watch out for Lambert out in front. And it's in the corner again. Lafleur out to Savard. He knocks that down, gets it back to Lafleur. Lafleur rolling it to Mondeau. He's shoving on. The Canadians have taken a 1-0 lead on a power, that is no power play.
Well, there we see Yvon Lambert. He was left all alone in front of the net. The Soviets are playing a very odd zone. They're chasing with their top men, but their bottom men are staying very close. Here we see Balderas charging all the way over from the far side. The puck goes in deep behind both of them. There's one defender charging out. We have the original shot coming by Mondeau. Left loose in front of the net. He has all kinds of time after Tretiak makes the first stop. Put the puck behind him for the Canadians to go ahead 1-0.
Yvon Lambert.
Yvon Lambert, Lafleur, and Savard will get points on this one, I would imagine, as well, as the face-off at center ice.
Et du numéro 10, Guy Lafleur.
On the face-off, it's out to Savard at center ice. He rolls it to the line. LaRouche knocked it down, but couldn't get over the line as he was checked on the play by Luchenko at center ice now. The Soviets backing over the line. Barnikov dropping it off for Kubin. Kubin trying to get it in front. Good job there by Savard. We'll give you the official announcement in a moment. It's come Lafleur at center ice. Now the lead pass intended for LaRouche, and he was too far ahead on that play. The puck now loose inside the zone. The Soviets coming out again. Luchenko at center ice. He feeds ahead for Barnikov. Over the line, the shot well wide of the net. Savard's got it. Savard along the boards and hops out over the stick. Down into the Soviet zone it goes. Kazanov is back to get it. And now again out in front. A shot taken by LaRouche. I thought there might have been icing on that. It was waved off. Now along the board, Savard. Savard keeping it in. LaRouche. Oh, he just missed the net with that blast. Now out in front again. It rolls into the pads of Tretiak, and it's held for a face-off.
Well, that was a very good opportunity by LaRouche, but there's a good play by Tretiak. And all you young goaltenders out there should watch how he jams his foot against the side of the net. But here we have the shot coming from Mondeau. Here's the goal, the original stop made by Tretiak. Lambert having the time, as we said, to put that puck by Tretiak. But almost the second goal there, when players are left loose around that net, Tretiak jamming his foot against the side of the net.
And there's something we've seen so many times over recent years. Lambert parked right in that area in front of the goal. And taking the punishment, willing to take it in order to get a chance. Here's Gainey with a chance, and he shoved wide. It's batted to the side of the net, rolled to the corner, and now it's Uhl. Uhl, Jarvis in the corner now. Jarvis, Gainey goes in to cover up. Gainey will pin it in. Arlomov's there. It's whistled dead. The face-off will be to the left of Tretiak. What a chance for Gainey.
Well, here we have the shot coming down. The original shot, we see Jarvis trying to jam it by. The puck comes loose to the side of the net. Here we have Gainey digging for that puck, but as that puck went around the net, Tretiak made a good stop with his skate against the side of the net.
Now here's a chance for the Soviets. Mihailov to the line, stops up just inside the line, drops it off for Volchenkov. He stopped on the play, and it's Jarvis to Uhl to Jarvis. Jarvis stops, gives it to Gainey now. Gainey on a lead pass, gets the puck over the line. Gainey working it rink wide for Robinson. Here's the shot. It's wide of the net, and Jarvis didn't see that as he was cruising in front of the net. Now Gainey stops it at the blue line, and it goes rink wide off a stick, past Harlamov to Robinson. Back to get it now, Gemayev, number 5 for the Soviets. Gemayev coming out now as the Canadians have changed on the fly. Gemayev at center ice, off the boards. Tremblay banks it off the boards. Risebrow can't control it. Now here comes Mihailov, his shot, and that drifts over the glass behind the Canadians' goal, and we'll have another face-off.
Well, I think the most significant thing at this point late in the first period, we just have to take a look at the shots on goal, Ron, and 13-1 for the Canadians. So they have certainly dominated the game, and I think Tretiak played exceptionally well to keep the score to 1-0, because the Canadians definitely have had a wide margin. They've had all the good opportunities. There's no question that they deserve at least a 1-goal lead at this point in the hockey game.
Play underway. The puck is shot out to center ice. Taken there by Starikov. Off the boards on the far side, Robinson stopped. Robinson turns over for Langway. Langway ahead for Lambert. Lambert shooting it in. Digging in is Tremblay along with Kasatonov. Tremblay off the boards. He fights for it along the boards with Kasatonov. They'll draw the whistle now for a face-off inside the Soviet zone. 1:02 remaining in the period. The Canadians lead this hockey game 1-0. You know, the Central Red Army has lost only 12 of its last 105 regular season games in the Soviet League. They lead their league right now by 4 points over the other team that is here in Canada touring. The Moscow Dynamo, they won the national championship the last 4 years running, which is, I guess, an exact parallel to the Montreal Canadiens' success story. Here's a chance, a shot. Oh, there's a good save by Tretiak, and he shovels it off into the corner. Less than a minute left in the period now as Gainey gets it. Gainey jammed in there. Gainey rolls it out in front. Jarvis was tied up. Here comes Gainey. Now Engblom out to center ice. Here comes Mihailov down over the line. Now the shot, and it's right on. That is just the second shot on goaltender Richard Sevigny. Out at center ice now, taken for the Soviets by Starikov. He shoots it in. It's in the corner. Engblom along the boards, comes out, it crossed over the boards and called for a face-off. Here's Dick Urban downstairs.
In our upcoming first intermission, interviews with Bob Gainey of the Canadiens and John Ziegler, president of the National Hockey League. And we'll take a look at the highlights of the game between these same teams played New Year's Eve 1975. And Tom Watt will be along with highlights from this very exciting first period here tonight. Ron?
All right, Dick. Face-off will be to the left of Richard Sevigny. I just want to go back into the statistics on that last series, the Super Series 1975-76. In that game here at the Montreal Forum, the shots on goal in the first period were 11-4 for the Canadians, 13-3 right at this moment. As from the face-off, Savard, with 25 seconds left, clears it along the boards and into the crowd again and called for another face-off. In that game, the Canadians had a 2-0 lead at the end of the first period on goals by Schutt from Mahovlich and Lambert from Risebrow and Savard. So we've seen Mr. Lambert again. But they have dominated this first period as much as they did that period 4 years ago to the night. Uhl now with 20 seconds left. Uhl clearing it in. Volchenkov going back, forechecking his Gainey. It's off the boards. Jarvis is there, but it goes right by him. The Soviets try to bring it to center ice. Uhl stick handling at the line as he waits for mates to get on side. Jarvis now. Jarvis along the board. Schluptov moves in and slams Jarvis in. He loses his stick. Puck comes to Gemayev, and that's the period. A tremendous period of hockey for the Canadians. A frustrating one, I'm sure, Tom, because they skate to the dressing room. Not frustrating, but they do have the lead, but I think the lead might have been a little bit more considering the domination.
Well, I don't think there's any question they had a wide territorial edge in the play and certainly deserved at least a 1-goal lead and perhaps more.
So the score at the end of the first period, the Canadians won, the Army nothing. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80.
Well, we have, what, a time machine in operation here. Ron mentioned it. Toward the end of that period, you almost think that these teams had turned back the clock to 1975, New Year's Eve. Tretiak absolutely superb. The Canadians outplaying the Red Army team. It's a 1-0 lead for Montreal. Could have been a lot better. 13-3, the shots on goal. A goal in the period scored by Yvon Lambert on a power play from Pierre Mondu and Guy Lafleur. Time of the goal was 16:36. And joining me here, trying to catch his breath after that very hectic first 20 minutes of play, is Bob Gainey of the Canadiens. And Robert, you had two pretty good scoring chances. Do you enjoy these games? Because I tell you, they are just tremendous.
Well, I do enjoy to play them. You know, you're playing against some of the best players in the world, and you can see them out there. And they didn't have that good a first period, but they fooled us before. And I think even in the games they've played this year here, they've had better second and third periods than first period.
You know, when you play the Soviets, Bob, is there for you fellas a different tempo to the game because of their style of play, because of the way they skate?
Well, I think it allows teams that are capable of skating wide open to play that kind of game. That's the kind of game they like. And it almost comes to the point of, like a team like ours in the league, we like to play a wide open game and teams try to stop us. But against the Soviets, it's the opposite. We're trying to slow down their fast, wide open game. And so it's that kind of game. It's more wide open hockey and probably more exciting.
I tell you fellas came out and you were really bursting. I don't like to bring a negative thing. Well, how about the chance you had when you cut in from the left side and you were in so tight on Tretiak?
Well, I got in tight at him. I was afraid... I didn't think I was going to have room to get across the front of the net, so I just made my move, and I knew he's got to open his legs. It hit between his legs. I could have maybe gone across afterwards after I thought about it, but I didn't think I was going to have as much room as I had.
Bob, you know, hear about the Soviets studying the opposition and so on. I heard that Claude Ruel was trying to get a videotape of the game they played against the Rangers. Did he get one, and did you look at it?
Well, we looked at it a little bit, but we've been so busy, and we've had a lot of problems of our own to deal with that we didn't really have time. And I think it's maybe been good because actually we're pretty loose for the game, and we come into it with a good attitude, and I think the second period is really going to tell the tale. I think by the 30-35 minute mark, you're going to see a kind of a stage set, and that's the way the game will proceed from there.
A lot of people have thought that maybe tonight might be a rather critical moment of the season for the Canadiens, based on what you said, the troubles you've had. Would you agree, or is it that overstating?
Well, no, I think it's kind of a stepping stone for us. If we play well tonight, it's been each game lately, and we lost a couple of games that we played well in, and we had a real downer the other night when we lost against the Islanders. But we came back strong, and I think we're playing better as a team and a more disciplined game, and if we keep improving by the time the playoffs get here, I think we're going to be a strong contender.
The boys said as they signed off the period, maybe the Canadiens are frustrated. That many shots, just one goal, you agree?
No, I think that's another thing we learned from them. We don't count on the shots, we don't count on their shots. Somebody said the other night in New York they had 5 shots on net, but they really weren't 5 shots on net, they were just 5 goals.
Bob Gainey, a great first period. Thanks very much. Bob Gainey of the Canadiens, who lead the Soviet Red Army team by a score of 1-0. Our first intermission, Game 2 of Super Series 80, will continue in a moment.
You know,
On this New Year's Eve, 1979, it's 1-0 for Montreal at the end of 1 against the Soviet Central Red Army. 4 years ago tonight, the teams had that classic. So we're going to turn back the clock and show you the scoring highlights from that 3-3 tie as described by Danny Gallivan. Having some audio problems, so we are going to try to do our best to describe things. That was the goal by Steve Shutt. It came from Pete Mahovlich at the 3:16 mark, and the Canadiens off to a big start early, as was the case here tonight, and they took a 1-0 lead. And Shutt, who had a pretty good chance in this first period, in fact, he put the puck in the net, and I kind of wonder about that call. I have to ask Tom Watt about that one. Was his stick really over the shoulder? But anyway, that was 4 years ago, and he made it 1-0. Now, history repeating a bit. Yvon Lambert scored a goal in that game 4 years ago tonight, as he has done here tonight. And Lambert, number 11, scored the second goal for Montreal from Rijsbrouw and Savard. And the Canadiens took a 2-0 lead. This is the action leading up to the goal by Lambert. Watch him, number 11, in front of the net, and a backhand. And the place was as wild on that particular occasion as it was tonight when Lambert scored the first goal of the game. So the Canadiens skated off the ice after the first period. They outshot the Soviets that night 11-4 through the first 20 minutes. 13-3 the margin here tonight. Second period action. And the Soviets get back on the board. In the second period, the shots were 11-3 in favor of the Canadiens in that game 4 years ago tonight, as we watch the highlights from the classic that everyone still talks about. But in the second period, of their 3 shots, the Soviets managed to score 2 goals. You see some familiar faces. You see some now left who have gone from the scene. Yvan Cournoyer, number 12. Jacques Lemaire, number 25, and that was quite a night for Lemaire. This was a Canadiens power play. Tremendous pressure. Lafleur, of course, as always. Cournoyer, and he scores. This came after the Mikhailov goal that had made it 2-1, and the Canadiens lead 3-1. Cournoyer's goal on the power play from Lafleur and Lemaire came at 9:39, and as I recall, the Canadiens were playing with a 2-man advantage at the time. The emotion then was, I guess, equal to the emotion here tonight, and it is just incredible what the appearance of this Central Red Army team means when they play the Canadiens here in Montreal. Then came a very big goal for the Soviets, down by 2. Second period coming to an end. But the familiar figure of Valery Arlamov to the fore. We knew who he was after game 1 of the 72 series. And there he is, beating Ken Dryden, now also gone from the hockey scene locally, on a backhand. Petrov and Mikhailov assisting him, and that goal came at 16:21. Well, then that set the stage for what proved to be the game-tying goal in the 5th minute of play in the final period. A period in which the Canadiens outshot the Soviets 16-6, but Tretiak stopped all 16 shots. And this is the goal by Alexandrov that tied it. It stayed that way, 3-3. And in the ensuing 4 years, everybody still talks about that game. It was a classic hockey the way the game should be played. Well, here tonight, after 1, the Canadiens, having outshot them 13-3, lead the Soviets 1-0. Tom Watt is next, live from the Forum, the Soviet Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens. Well, it's 1-0 after the first period. The Canadiens leading the Central Red Army on the power play goal by Yvon Lambert. Tom Watt has made the climb from up top to down here and joined us. I'd like to set, folks. We're in the executive suite here, Tom, tonight. We thought we'd give you a little treat on New Year's Eve here at the Forum. Ron mentioned it. I guess everybody's thinking it. It's like history repeating, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think it is, Dick. I mean, the Canadiens certainly have dominated the period right from beginning to end. They had all the opportunities, really. I think outside of the shot that was a little wide by Lobanov, they really didn't threaten the net. And in fact, the 2 last shots at the end of the period sort of came from center field. But I feel that the Canadiens certainly should have come out with more than a 1-goal lead at this point. And certainly there was a little bit of a questionable call. The fans weren't too happy with the goal that Schutt scored. It was called back by Bruce Hood, but I think there was no doubt about it that it was tipped in by a high stick.
May I disagree? The replay showed Steve. I'm not so sure the stick was over the shoulder. The stick was off the ice. That's, however.
Yeah, well, ifs and buts for Canadians.
That's right. That's right. You know, Bob Gainey had something interesting to say. I asked him about looking at the. We're going to take a look here now at the first highlights you have.
Well, here we have the puck going to the point, and this is kind of interesting that the first pass comes right through, a super pass really by Robinson. The shot comes from the side. Here we have the puck being hit by Steve Schutt in the goal. You see Bruce Hood just off to the side of the net. He was in perfect position to get a look at the goal that was called back, and he called it as a high stick, and I think it was, but it was questionable. Certainly the Canadiens didn't put up much of an argument about it, but the fans here weren't too happy about the
Bob Gainey mentioned, Tom, that while they did have a videotape of the game the other night between the Soviets and the Rangers, they really didn't look at it all that much. He said they came into this one loose. They're not going to get, you fellas said they might be uptight about the shots on goal. I thought that was a pretty good attitude if they...
Yeah, I think sometimes you can overdo the video, too. I think that when you look at it too much, you get too worked up about the game. There's a point where you're worrying so much about what they're doing that it takes away from your own game. And I think you want to see, certainly, trends and how they play the game, but you don't want to be so concerned with them that you forget about how you're going to play the game yourself.
Well, obviously, Tom, the Canadiens came out, and watching it as you did from an analytical standpoint, they obviously have a pretty good game plan.
Oh, I think so. And the one thing with the Canadiens, I think that, of course, being a coach, I'm really happy the way Claude Ruel is handling it. And the Soviets will let you do that. They're matching against the big line of Petrov, Harmelov, and Mikhailov. They'll let you match. And they've got Gainey and Jarvis out there against them the whole time, and they're doing a real good job in that big line.
Well, they scored the goal on the power play with Petrov in the penalty box, and as you mentioned, it was kind of interesting. There were 3 Soviet defenders really on that one side of the rink.
Well, what the Soviets are doing, they play a very aggressive box. Watch Balderas here. He comes all the way from the top as a right winger. He's chasing. They're not giving the Canadiens much time to handle the puck. And here's a super play. It gets by 2 Soviet defenders. It creates the odd man situation. Here's Mondu with the original shot. Comes across, there's Lambert all by himself. Tretiak stops the first one and then goes by. But it's interesting the style that the Soviets play. They don't play a set box. They don't play a very disciplined box. Their attitude is that they're going to come at you, force you to make a quick play, and perhaps give the puck away when you've got the man advantage. And it's not a bad philosophy, really.
Tom, just very briefly, you mentioned the Soviets aren't about to they don't match lines as much as we do in this part of the world.
No, they keep the same rotation the whole time. If you want to match lines against the Soviets, they'll let you do it because they won't vary from their game plan. I can tell you right now, it'll be Petrov, and then it'll be Zhluktov's line and so on. And if you want to match, they'll let you match against them. That's not in their game plan.
Okay, Tom, thank you very much. 1-0, the Canadians leading the Soviet Army, a fine first period. And so with the score, Montreal 1, the Soviets nothing. At the end of 1, this is Super Series 80, live from Montreal.
Hello again, everyone. This is Ron Roosh. The teams are back on the ice, and will we see another 20 minutes of hockey like we saw in that first period? The Canadians dominating things. The question, of course, is the tremendous conditioning of this Soviet team. But what a period of hockey we saw. You know, we talk about this Soviet team, one of the finest club teams assembled in the world. Maybe we're seeing the best, too, although maybe the Philadelphia fans will have something to say about that. But certainly in recent years, they are the best, too. For the Soviets, they name just a single all-star team every year, and 5 of the 6 players named to that all-star team came from the Central Red Army Sports Club. In goal, Vladislav Tretiak, Vasilyev on defense, along with Vasily Pervukin, who plays for Dynamo, the other team here in North America right now. And the forward line, Sergei Makarov of the Army, Boris Mikhailov, also of the Army, and Vladimir Petrov. So there is your all-star team from last year in the Soviet Union. The scoring champion, by the way, who is presented with the Izvestia Trophy each year. The last 2 years has been won by Petrov. And he is out on the ice right now. And from the faceoff, there's a shot right on Richard Sevigny. He gets him right into the period. The 4th shot on goal against the Canadians as Savard's deep in his own end. Watch for the Soviets to try and open it up now. Puck is out at center ice, and Starikov has it. Starikov backing into his own zone now. Starikov out over center ice for Petrov. Petrov back for Starikov. Uhl's forechecking. Starikov forced back. Starikov, a rink-wide pass. Fedosov. Fedosov backhanding it around the boards. Harlamov on the far side. He clears it out to Starikov. Starikov out at center ice for Petrov. Petrov had to go off a stick. Fedosov's got it. He gives it to Harlamov. Harlamov over the line. Harlamov breaking for the net. Now looking for a man out in front. He circles it and clears it right onto the stick of Robinson. Now Fedosov with a shot. That's Starikov. He tried to roll it in front, and the Canadians' defense covers up. And a shot to center ice by Risebrow. Starikov. Starikov back in his own end. Fedosov. Fedosov ahead, intended for Balderas, just coming off the bench. It went right by him, and Savard will go back to touch it, and it's called for a face-off. The telecast of Super Series 80 is presented solely for the interest of our viewers under copyright of Harcom Consultants Limited. Any use of the telecast without express written consent is prohibited. 1-0. The Canadians leading the Soviets. We played 1 minute and 5 seconds here in the period. And there we see the leader of the opposition, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, along with family. Part of an enthusiastic, packed Montreal Forum on this New Year's Eve. Risebrow facing off against Zhluktov. Balderas encroached on the face-off circle. They'll try it again. Here it is. Risebrow gets it back behind the net. Lambert digs in. So does Risebrow. He can't reach it as the puck is poked away by Luchenko. And it's cleared to the side of the net. Now Langway moving in. He's played well here tonight. Puck is around behind the net. Luchenko. Luchenko off the boards. Balderas can't reach it. Risebrow tries to get set. It goes back to Lambert. His shot's off a leg. And the puck comes out to center ice for Engblom. Engblom to Langway. Langway ahead off Lambert's skate down into the Soviet end, and it's shot out to center ice by Kazatanov, and Langway then just risks it right back into the Soviet end for Tretiak. Tretiak leading it at the side of the net for Kazatanov, number 21. Off the boards at center ice for Makarov. He's checked by Tremblay. Now it's Kazatanov again. Tremblay coming back, makes the check, and takes the puck back to Engblom. Engblom out to center ice. It's loose out there as it goes off Zhluktov's stick and down into the Soviet zone, and Kazatanov has it again. At center ice, Kazatanov off the heel of Tremblay's skate. He gets it again. Kazatanov cutting for the net now, shoots, and it hops over the stick of the goaltender Richard Sevigny, and then over top of the net, and it's cleared out over center ice by Rod Langway, and the Canadians will change on the fly. And so will the Soviets as Balderas shoots it down into their own zone. Gimayev is back for it. LaRouche is in forechecking. Now it's back around the net. Kazatanov out to center ice for Varnikov. Varnikov with Kovin over the line. Varnikov knocked off stride, loses his stick. Lafleur comes out to center ice, and he is belted to the ice. Good check there by Gimayev. Now it's cleared back in. Sevigny, and it's called on the offside, and the face-off will come out at center ice. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80 on CTV. Well, there are our coaches. Second time round for Claude Ruel, who coached a Stanley Cup champion here in 1969. Last time the Soviets were in here, the coach was not Viktor Tikhonov. They have made some changes there, and Tikhonov, of course, I think in paralleling the development of Soviet hockey is coaching a much more offensive-minded hockey game, although you would never know it the way things are going in this hockey game. Now Lupien back in his own zone to Lafleur. Lafleur trying to work it out. There's a quick shot taken off the boards by Gemayev.
You are witnessing the launch of the Beaumark line. Beaumark, a new generation of appliances. Beaumark, the appliances of the 80s, built to work well and last long. Beaumark, available now throughout Canada at the Bay and Simpsons.
Well, here we get a look at the three-way passing play. Napier just tipping it through. This was early in the period. The puck comes across. Here we have Mondu right off the side of the net. The good three-way passing play. Guy Lafleur not only is a great goal scorer, but what a play he made there. Here we have the drop pass. The post is hit. Lambert drops it. Here we have Tremblay moving in. Goes to the short side, hits the post, has Tretiak beaten, but the puck comes out. But again, Canadians starting off this period with opportunities.
Face-off, and Robinson has it in his own zone. He stops behind the net. Robinson feeds it off the stick there of Makarov, who is in forechecking. Gainey gets tied up. Robinson has it again to Uhl. Uhl at center ice. Uhl feeding it along the boards now, and back to get it in his own end is Volchenkov. Volchenkov at the side of his own net to the far side. Now it's out at center ice. Shlukov is tied up. Here comes Lafleur back in over the line. Lafleur shoots. And Mondu had a chance, and it was steered away by the defense. Good play by Volchenkov as he goes into the corner to try and pin it in. The Canadians have it again. Mondu out to Lafleur. He shoots right on the short side. Lafleur in the corner now. Shot. Watch him in front, and he stepped away from the pass. Balderas coming away for the Soviets. Balderas at center ice. Drops it off now. Makarov. Makarov is rammed in against the boards on the far side. It's cleared around for Balderas on this side. Out to the blue line. Gemayev. His shot. Scores! The Soviets have tied this game up. Shlukov, I believe. Shlukov just deflecting it. No chance for Sevigny.
Well, what a way to turn around the hockey game after all these opportunities. The play was made from the corner, first of all, by Balderas. He put the puck to the point to Gemayev. There you see Shlukov in that high slot position, just tipping the shot from Gemayev at the point. But Balderas made the play out of the corner, putting it onto Gamayev's forehand when he has the right shot in the left point. And that shot coming through, big lurch, as I call him, Shlukov there in the high slot, just tipping it home. When you get all those opportunities and you come up cold, it's surprising how a game can turn around.
Only their fourth shot on goal for the Soviets, and they have tied it up at 1. From the face-off, the puck is cleared to center ice. Fetisov ahead for Barnikov. He tried to get by Robinson. He's pushed off the puck, and Lafleur behind the net for Langway. Langway ahead, intended for Robinson. Robinson had to go back for it now. Barnikov in for checking as Robinson's got to the side of the net. Late pass for Lafleur, who is breaking, and just breaking that play up. On a good defensive play, there was Colby, and Barnikov is slammed to the ice by Robinson. Langway flips it into the crowd, and it's called for a face-off.
You know, Ron, these are the things that just drive you crazy as a coach. You know, you have all the opportunities. You dominate the game. You get all the good opportunities. You just miss. You know, and you only get so many in a hockey game. When you don't capitalize on them, you know, and then the opposition comes right back and ties up the hockey game, it really hurts your club. It just takes a little bit of the starch out of you.
I just saw a former captain of the Canadiens, Henri Richard, in the crowd. Regular visitor to the Forum. Successful businessman here in the Montreal area now. Serge Savard, the current captain. Henri, 2 captaincies removed. Ivan Cornway in between. Engblom has the puck. Engblom along the boards now and out to center ice. Here's a race for it as Lafleur goes after it. Lafleur is beaten to the puck there by Lubinov. The puck is at center ice. Soviets have it. Grodzetsky ahead for Lubinov. Lubinov to the line. Lubinov trying to split the defense. It's poked away, and Luchenko will have to recover at center ice. Kazadanov over for Grodzetsky. He hits the line. Grodzetsky dropping it back. Clear in front. Here's a chance. Right on the shot, and Sevigny made a big save there. And the puck is at center ice for Shutt.
Shutt's over the line, along with LaRouche and Lafleur. Shutt stopped on the play, but it was hooked away from him. At the blue line, Savard takes it on his backhand, couldn't control it. Now Shutt going to the boards on the near side. Kazadanov beats him to it. It's out at center ice. Savard and Bolchenkov. They get tied up on the plate. Drozdetsky gets it on the far side, clears it into the Canadian zone. Savard around the boards. Lafleur digging after it on the far side. Lafleur out to center ice and down into the Soviet zone. And back to get it will be Gamayev. Gainey in for checking him, and he takes a hard hit from Gainey. Now Gamayev clearing it out for Harlamov. Harlamov being checked by Gainey, who's all over the ice on this ship. Here comes Gainey trying to hit the line, and Jarvis has got it. Clears it in front. Here's Uhl. Backhands it, missed it twice. Now Jarvis. They pinned it against the boards. Jarvis goes down, and it's still loose. And it'll be a penalty. Holding called against Gamayev. From the Forum, the Soviet Central Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens in game number 2 of Super Series 80.
Time.
Well, there you see Sergei Gamayev in the box, the holding penalty late in the play. Here we have the 2 opportunities. First of all, by the Soviets, the little passing play. Drozdetsky right off the side of the net. And watch him give that little shot to Sevigny as he goes by. I thought Sevigny was hurt when he went down. And here we have Gainey in the opportunity. What a skater this guy is. Here he is just turning around, does the quick spinorama, puck, pokes the puck by. Here we have off the side of that, Uhl can't just quite find the handle, comes around on his backhand again, tries to jam it behind Tretiak. And there we see Gamayev holding Uhl against the boards and is called for the 2-minute penalty.
Mondu, Napier also out there. Lambert, Robinson, and Lafleur. And Robinson's got it from the faceoff. The shot is right on. And the puck is wheeled down the ice by the defense. Starikov on the backhand, getting it down into the Canadian zone. Robinson's back for it with Mikhailov on top of him. Now Mondu cutting in front of his own net, and it's Mondu on the attack ahead for Napier. Napier to the line, and it's poked away from him. And out to center ice, and then cleared down the ice by Mikhailov back into the Canadiens' end. Lafleur starting out as he ducks by Mikhailov. Lafleur at center ice with Lambert. Down over the line. Lafleur hitting the corner now. Lafleur still with that puck, and finally he's ridden in against the boards by Fedosov, and the puck is hoisted into the crowd. And a face-off will take place in the Soviet end with 1:20 left in the power play. The Canadiens' goal coming on a power play in the first period. We've got a 1-1 tie.
Well, really, this has been the difference in this series. Soviet Red Army Club in 9 opportunities haven't been able to score in their power play. The only power play to date so far the Canadiens have, they did come up with the goal when Lambert was left alone in front of the net. There we see Guy Lafleur, who just led that rush, took a tremendous check behind the net. He's just getting a little bit of a breather here, talking to his coach, Claude Ruel, coming back on the ice. But Fedosov just hammered him behind the net, took him, but it doesn't seem to take any of the starch out of him.
Well, Guy Lafleur played in the first Canada Cup, as you saw there, and Alan Eagleson will be our guest during this broadcast to talk about the next Canada Cup. Alan, always interesting. Well, we've got a 1-1 tie here. 9:30 gone in the second period. Lafleur taking the draw, gets it back to the point. Robinson turns with it, gets to his forehand, then gives it to LaRouche over to Savard. He winds up the shot in front, and it's relayed by Lafleur, but he had a bad angle in any case. Puck is in against the boards. They clear it out to the point. Not out. Now it's out at center ice. Mikhailov trying to get by Lafleur, and it's in against the boards. Petrov in there. Robinson, Risebrow, and also Fedosov, and it's called for a face-off right in front of the Soviet bench. A little pushing going on. 1:01 left in the penalty.
Well, when they're shorthanded, that Soviet box in their own zone, just as they did on that first power play goal the Canadiens got, they take some chances. They've been chasing very aggressively. They don't hold their box that tight. They chase you, make you make the play very quickly, and oftentimes you'll throw it away. Now, the thing that you have to do against that box is you have to get your teammates close to the man with the puck, because if he's really pressured, there has to be somebody there to help him out. That's the first thing, and then the second thing, you got to try to slip it to the guy behind the net, hold the guy that comes to you, so you create 2-on-1 opportunities other places inside the zone. But you've got to move that puck quickly when they're coming after you.
From the face-off now, it's Starikov. Starikov feeding it down into the Canadiens' end. And Savard back behind his net. Mikhailov right on top of him. Fights off a check. Lafleur's got it. Lafleur now. Starting out, a lead pass for Shutt. Shutt on the left side. Shutt the long drive into the corner now. Comes off the boards. Cleared out to the point. LaRouche is there. LaRouche feeds it to an open wing. And Starikov will go over, pick it up, and clear it down the ice into the Canadiens' end. Savard going back for it along with Mikhailov. Relayed along the boards. Now Shutt has it on the far boards. He tried to feed it back in. Does to Savard. Now goes off the linesman, and it's LaRouche. LaRouche ahead for Lafleur. Lafleur shooting it in now. Shutt going after it. Shutt at a bad angle, took a chop at it. Now he controls it behind the net. Shutt along the boards to Savard. Savard on his backhand along the boards again. Shutt relays it into the corner. Starikov overskated it, and it's Lafleur. Lafleur fighting off a check. Lafleur out to the blue line. Engblom into the corner. It goes behind the net for Starikov. He shoots it off the boards and out to center ice. The penalty is over, and Savard has got the puck at his own blue line. Savard ahead. Lafleur's over the line. Winds up the shot. Just wide of the net. It seemed to deflect and caught the goaltender Tretiak off balance, and it's cleared down into the Canadiens' end. Tremblay back at the side of his own net. Tremblay off the boards. Langway at center ice ahead for Lambert. Puck all the way down to Tretiak. Luchenko around the boards. Balderas, number 19. Back to Luchenko in the corner on the far side. Luchenko to Kazanov. Kazanov off the boards. Balderas tracking it down on the right boards. Balderas hits the line now. He can skate ahead now, and it's off a skate, and cutting across was Balderas, and he shot it wide. Now it's still inside the zone. Risebrough coming back on the play. Makes the check and comes out to center ice with it. Risebrough to the line. Risebrough trying to duck around Luchenko. Here's the chance now as it's knocked down in front of the net on a shot by Tremblay, and the quick break. At center ice, Makarov. Risebrough checked it out to center ice. And now the Soviets will regroup. Kazanov. Shluptov. Balderas. Go, Habs, go. They're saying here at the four. There's the shot. He scores. Balderas from the blue line. Balderas just hit the line and blasted it. It went between the legs, I believe, of Sevigny. 2-1, Central Red Army.
Well, here we see Balderas turning, makes the good little play to get away from Tremblay. He's just inside the blue line. A seemingly innocent shot goes between the legs of Sevigny. But those forwards for the Soviet always moving. Balderas just came back off his wing. Here we are again, just inside the blue line. There you see the puck right between the legs of Sevigny from quite a distance. But Balderas, exciting always, just moving in that neutral zone quickly with the puck and making the quick little play.
A goal coming at the 12:02 mark, and the Soviets lead for the first time in this game, 2-1. Puck is off the board. Shutt. Engblom, number 3, clearing it out to center ice. Shutt gets it, and he shoots it down into the Soviet zone. There's taken by Gemayev. Gemayev out at center ice. Barnikov checked by Lafleur. Lafleur's out there on a long shift. Rick wide for Langway. Langway tried to get it over the line. Is stopped by the defense. Gemayev now. That's Eric Gemayev, the forward. Clears it into the Canadian zone. Sevigny's out of his net. Sevigny leaving it now for Engblom. It's called, and we're going to get an elbowing penalty handed out here. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80 on CTV. 12:35, the time of the penalty. Steve Shutt in there for elbowing. Tough time to take a penalty.
Actually, a very bad penalty, too, Ron. They had no business. He was just checked, maybe a little frustrated at that goal, and you don't need penalties like that when you're down 2-1 in this hockey game.
On the face-off now, in the corner, it's Rostetsky. Rostetsky looking for a man out in front now. Watch that action in front of the net now as they try to clear it in front. It's intercepted by Gainey, and he clears it down the ice. Starikov will go back for it. The power play alignment. Starikov, Fedosov, Lobanov. And carrying the puck, Rostetsky, along with Bolchakov, and over the line, Rostetsky cutting through the defense, and Savard made a good play as he just hooked around the player, and the puck is in the corner now. Now out to the, well, they try to get to the blue line, and Gainey comes away with it along with Jarvis. Gainey circling back. Gainey still with it. Now he feeds it back into his own end, and Savard will take it. Savard at the side of his own net. Savard finding a hole, and it's cleared to the linesman. It didn't get out, but then taken out to center ice by Jarvis and fed into the Soviet end, and the Canadians make a change as Uhl and Lambert come on to replace Jarvis and Gainey. Behind his own net, that's Fedosov. Fedosov having trouble handling the puck. Now he's got it. Fedosov at center ice. Fedosov ahead for Balderas. Balderas has got the go-ahead goal here. He's in the area beside the boards. Now jammed in there. Savard fighting for it. And now it's taken and cleared around the boards by Shluptov on the far side. Soviets control it at the blue line. There's Kazanov in against the boards for Makarov. Makarov is checked. And it clears the glass into the crowd. Called for a face-off. 36 seconds remaining in the penalty to Steve Shutt. So the face-off will be deep in the Canadiens' end.
Well, here we see that rush again, just coming down, trying to make the good move here. Larry Robinson doing a good job, especially when the team is shorthanded. Here we have Balderas trying to break his way through, but the zone also of the Canadiens has been very aggressive. Robinson doing a good job killing this penalty.
All right, from the faceoff now, Schluchthoff getting it in against the boards. Balderas is tied up. Gainey's got the puck again. What a game he has played here as he clears it down right on the Soviet goal. And Tretiak leaves it for Kazanov. Kazanov at the side of his net, ahead for Balderas. Balderas is knocked off the puck. He saw that one coming. He just stepped away from it, or he could have been in for a rough ride from Larry Robinson. Now it's taken by Schluchthoff. He'll lead the rush. Off to Balderas. Balderas with Robinson right on him, just in over the line. It's kicked to Varnikov. They try to get it out. Still taken there by Makarov. Makarov into the corner, clears it off the elbow of Sevigny, the goaltender. Now Savard, Robinson clearing it into the crowd, and the penalty is over. 5:13 remaining in the period. The Soviets lead 2-1. Super Series 80 pauses for a moment. Goals in this game, Lambert for the Canadiens. For the Soviets, Schluchthoff and Balderas as the puck is cleared over center ice and down into the Soviet zone. Back to get it will be Volchenkov. Into the corner on this side, Gemayev past Risebrow. Now Lambert digging into the corner. Lambert tries to pin it in there. He's being checked by Volchenko, and they'll hold it this time, drawing the face-off deep in the Soviet end. And the shots on goal, 18-7 right now, but the Soviets have 2 goals on their 7 shots. You know, we're a little concerned, Tom, about the lack of activity for 78 through that first period. They can tend to make a goaltender go a little cold, but I can't blame him on either one of the goals. Well, the first, maybe the one from center ice. Here's a shot. Good skate save there. Rebound on the short side. The second shot coming off Lambert's stick. Gemayev in against the boards. Lambert goes in there. They try to get it out to center ice, and it's brought to center ice now by Petrov. Petrov to Mihailov. He's checked as Harlamov moves in on Tremblay. The puck rolls loose, and it's in the corner on the far side now. Kicked along the boards. Now Langway, number 17 for the Canadiens, to Tremblay. Tremblay can't get it out. Now it's at center ice, and Volchenkov shoots it right back in with a player trapped and is called on the offside.
Well, the Canadian players, and a good call here by the linesman. A deliberate offside. The puck is brought, Canadians protest a little bit there. The puck is brought all the way back into the Soviet zone because that was a deliberate offside. The Soviet defender, seeing his men trapped, just dumped it in to get the whistle. But the linesman, good call, bringing it all the way back into their own zone.
You know, we mentioned some of the players that are gone from that team 4 years ago, the last Super Series 76 from the Central Army. They had regulars like Alexander Gusev, Victor Kuskin, who's now an assistant coach, Gennady Sigankov, Alexei Volchenkov, Boris Alexandrov, Victor Schluchthoff. Well, they're all play underway again. As Lafleur tried to bat it out of the air, Savard gets it at center ice. Savard back to his own blue line now, ahead, and it's right past Mondu. And back to get it on this icing play will be Starikov. He's touched it, and the faceoff will come back down into the Canadiens' end. But gone from the Canadiens, and that team of 1975, Van Boxmeer, Don Orey, Pierre Bouchard, Jimmy Roberts, Ivan Cournoyer, Murray Wilson, Peter Mohavlich, and of course the coach, Scotty Bowman.
Well, that's quite a few changes in a short space of time.
4 years, and things do not stop. Time does not come to a standstill. Against the boards on the far side now for the Soviets, it's Kovin. Kovin ridden to the ice there by Jarvis, who is right in on top of him. Savard goes down. Now they try to get it out in front. Kovin's turned around on the play, and Lafleur has lost his stick. Puck is back at the blue line. Varnikov, and he is hit by Lafleur, and Robinson's got it. He'll ice the puck to draw the whistle and allow Lafleur to get a stick. And back to touch it, and it's called. From the Forum, the Soviet Central Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens in game number 2 of Super Series 80.
Weekday morning.
Lobanov facing off against Jarvis to the left of Sevigny. From the face-off, Shutt shovels it in. Robinson's got it. Robinson is being checked closely now. Out to center ice, Lafleur. Lafleur, the rink-wide pass, and the fellow had been home free there. Steve Shutt, had he been able to knock that pass down, or had it led him just a little bit?
Well, I think, Bill, that's one of the things Guy Lafleur does for you. Not only is he a great goal scorer and a great skater, but he can really pass the puck. He makes plays
that centers usually make. He makes them from the wing. It's like having an extra center out there. He can pass the puck, put it on people's sticks, and give them opportunities.
Now from the face-off, Kazatonov at center ice, comes off a skate. Now Drozdetsky will try. He gets over the line. It's cleared out to Mondu. Cut back inside the line now. Here's Lubinov. Lubinov trying to get set, drops it off. Luchenko winding up. The shot is well wide of the net. Now Drozdetsky. Drozdetsky out to the blue line. The shot is right on the screen. Here's the rebound. Oh, what a save by Sevigny. Picked that one right out of the air.
Well, Drozdetsky, he just threw his hands in the air because he thought he had a gimme at that point. He let that shot go off the original rebound. Here we see it just coming, and there's the gloved hand going up from Sevigny when Drozdetsky was just off the side of the net. Let it go all in one motion. Here we see it once again. Look at that Soviet defender putting Sevigny down, just trying to interfere with him before, off the edge of the net. And they're cute at that. Those guys around the net want to interfere with that. In fact, in the Izvestia tournament, Mikhailov was whacking the top of the goal stick to make the goal sticks jump up and down when he's in the crease there trying to bother your goaltender. But that was a smart play there off the edge of the net. Drozdetsky thought he had the goal.
3:04 left in the second period. Soviets leading a tough, tight hockey game 2-1. The face-off to the left of Sevigny, who's come up with a save of the game. Robinson around the boards. Cleared out to center ice as Uhl relayed it. Back in his own end now is Drozdetsky, and it's called as it cleared the line, and the face-off will take place. Don't forget, the next broadcast in our series, January 3rd, from Buffalo's Memorial Auditorium. The Soviet Central Red Army against Scotty Bowman, as we see Richard Sevigny in his first appearance in the NHL against the Soviets. The rookie up from the Nova Scotia Voyageurs. Riseborough out there with Lambert and Tremblay. They have been very effective in this game. As Engblom shoots it in. And Gemayev back to get it. Gemayev clearing it off to the far boards. Out to center ice. Engblom traps that one. It gets all tangled up in Gerard Gauthier, the linesman. And now here's Balderas. Balderas over the line now. Balderas trying to get himself set. Looks for the screen. And there's Engblom making a poke check to get it cleared away, and then it's relayed out to center ice. Gemayev loses. Tremblay going into the backhand. He's tied up. Here's a chance to stop. Oh, what a chance there for Riseborough, and Tretiak was up to it. Engblom trying to roll it to the side of the net for Lambert. It goes off. Gemayev skated out into the crowd, and what a golden opportunity. Just failed to work for the Canadiens. Their 20th shot on goal.
Well, we're going to get another look at this play. There goes Zhluktov off the ice, but what happens is the Soviet defender misplays the puck. Here we see him. He's got complete control. Misplays it. Tremblay breaks to the net, drops the puck back. Here we have Riseborough just off the side of the net, fans on that first one a little bit, tries to come back off with Tretiak down and at his mercy here. Zhluktov coming back to clear the puck.
Well, they'll move Engblom off the point now with the good shot of Robinson out there on the left point. And, of course, Jarvis, who can control the puck pretty well on the draw now, facing off against Harlamov. From the face-off, it's back to Robinson. Robinson circling away from a check. Robinson still fighting that check, and it's poked away from him, and Petrov has it. Petrov to Fedosov. Fedosov crossing the red line at center, shoots it in. Mihailov going in along with Robinson, and Robinson's got it. Robinson put it right on the stick of Harlamov. Now Mihailov. Mihailov poked out to center ice. Uhl's after it. Uhl leading Gainey. Here's Gainey moving in. Finds up the shot. Oh, what a save off the stick glove there of Tretiak. It's in the corner, and it's called for a face-off. All right, downstairs, here's Dick Irvin.
During our second intermission, we will bring you the Lotto Canada drawing, which took place earlier this evening here in Montreal. The November and December draws will also be reviewed. And when we get back to hockey, Tom Watt will have the highlights from this second period.
Great chance for Bob Gainey. Let's take a look at it, Tom.
Yes, Gainey breaks it all about. There's the puck. It stands up on him a little bit. It's like a 9-iron shot that goes a little higher, I'm sure, than Bob wanted it. But he broke in there with that great speed. But the puck just stood up just as he wanted to get that shot away. A little high.
1:53 left in the second period. LaRouche facing off. On the face-off, shot going to the backhand in front. He can't get a good shot away. Shot gets it again. His shot. And it deflects off the elbow again of Tretiak. Now gets the boards. Kept in by Engblom. Engblom just relayed it to Lafleur, who then hooked it down into the corner. Now along the boards, out to center ice. It's knocked down by Savard. Savard ahead, off LaRouche's stick, in over the line. LaRouche knocks that down, but Barnikov's got it. Barnikov to Kobin. Kobin, this line from the Soviet wings. Puck rolls into the goal crease. That's poked away there by Engblom. Nearly steered it towards goaltender Richard Sevigny. Now it's steered ahead by Cobain. Now LaRouche after it, but Kazananov's got it. Engblom out to center ice, and the Soviets will try again with Kazanov. Kazanov ahead for Cobain. Cobain around Engblom, but Savard's going backboard in the corner. Savard jamming in there. Down go a couple of players. The puck is under Savard, and with 1:01 left in the second period, we'll have a face-off in the Canadiens' end of the Montreal Forum. Well, there's Vladislav Tretiak, who has been an all-star in the 1979 World Tournament back in 1972. In that series against Team Canada, he was just 20 years of age. But I can remember back in 1969, he played a game against the Montreal Junior Canadiens, actually a reorganized team of Junior Canadiens. He was beaten 9-3. He was just 17 years old at the time. Times do change. Jarvis clearing it down with less than a minute remaining in the period. Now Gemayev is back in there. He flips it along the boards, and it's Gainey. Gainey out in front. Jarvis tries to get set with it in front, and he goes down, and the puck is poked to center ice. Savard back at his end. Bolchenkov after it, and Savard gets it to Uhl. Uhl ahead for Jarvis. Jarvis didn't see the pass until the last instance, and Grostetsky goes backboard. Off the boards, and Jarvis has it. Jarvis shooting it back in with 27 seconds left in the second period. Around the boards, Gemayev. Jarvis into the corner for Uhl. Trying to kick it along the boards. He's got it now with 18 seconds left. He's chased off the puck there by number 13, Alexei Bolchenkov. Now Gainey behind the net. He's stopped on the play. And it's cleared around to this side. And Lubinov from center ice takes a shot. It went off the back of Uhl's leg. Comes into Savard. Savard with a siren going to end the second period of play. In the period, the Soviets had a total of 6 shots on goal. The Canadiens 8, so it tightened up a bit. The total shots on goal through 2 periods then, 21-9, favor the Canadiens. The score, 2-1. The Soviets are leading. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80.
If you're wondering what games like these prove when the Soviets come over here to play exhibitions, one thing, people like you and I get to see hockey the way it should be played. That is the main thing, I feel. We are getting another example of it tonight. The Canadiens still holding their own, and then some against the Soviets. The late Guy Lombardo used to mean New Year's Eve. I think Vladislav Tretiak is going to take over in that role, the way he played here tonight and the way he played here 4 years ago. The Soviets caught up a little bit in that second period. Canadians outshot them 8-6, but the Soviets scored both goals in the period. Zhlukov on a deflection from Mikhailov and Balderas at 6:51, and then Balderas from the blue line. Bit of a surprise, I think, for young Richard Sevigny, a young man who's played only 10 NHL games. Cuts it off, and Zhlukov assisting that game at 12:02. The shots in the second period, the Canadians outshooting them 8-6 overall in the game. 21-9 Montreal. The Canadians goal on the power play in the first period by Yvon Lambert. Well, as we mentioned, in this second intermission, we are going to show you the highlights of tonight's Lotto Canada drawing, which took place earlier tonight here in Montreal.
The computer drawn for tonight's $1 million, 6825259. Each ticket ending in...
Jack Curran, Dick Irvin here, along with Tom Watt, 2 non-winners of $1 million, but we will press on. The Soviets lead the Canadians 2-1 after 2 periods, with both Soviet goals coming in the second period after Montreal had opened up a 1-0 lead. And Tom, your brief comments on the overall play in the second period.
Well, it scares you to death, Dick. When you have all the opportunities that the Canadians had in the first period, early in the second period, they get a lot of good opportunities. They don't capitalize on all of them. They only have a 1-goal lead. You know, and that scares you because you only have so many good opportunities in a game. When you run out of them, then you think, gee, you know, we may not get them back. And then, of course, then the Soviets get 1 goal after all those opportunities. Come right back with a second one. That takes a lot out of your hockey team.
We said in the first intermission, we'll say it again, history repeating. Here is the first highlight. Pretty good passing play to start the period for Montreal.
Yes, Napier makes a good little play, just tips it over to Lafleur. Lafleur just slides it through to Mondu off the edge of the net, and that was early in the second period. Another good opportunity early where they could have gone ahead. To nothing at this point. Here's Lambert dropping the puck back to Tremblay. Tremblay makes the shot. Here we have it just off the near post. But another opportunity, again, the second good opportunity early in that second period where they could have gone ahead by a 2-goal margin. Now, Here we have Balderas. We didn't see the original pass coming out of the corner there, but Balderas, you see him off the edge of that, put it to Gamayev at the point, and Lurch just in that high slot position, Zhuktov tipping it home. Now here we have the innocent play. Balderas just steps over the line. The defense for the Canadians backing in a little bit, but the puck goes between Sevigny's legs, and really, I'm wondering if the waving of the rule on the sticks had anything to do with that, because maybe that puck dropped a little. Here we have Gamayev giving the puck away. Tremblay puts it back to Riseborough. Riseborough really fanned in that shot off the edge of the post, with Canadians coming back a little, I thought, towards the end of the period, but really another good opportunity which was lost to the Canadians late in that period.
May I explain, Tom? You mentioned the waving of the rule. Exactly what do you mean by that?
Well, it means that the rule in the National Hockey League for the curvature of the stick is a ½ inch. Internationally, it's 1.5 centimeters, which is 5/8 of an inch. And a lot of the European sticks, especially the Soviets, their sticks are as illegal as sin. And the National Hockey League waived that rule for this series, and it just gives the Soviets a credit card to do whatever they want with the sticks. And I'm wondering if that shot by Balderas, if it dipped a little on Sevigny, maybe because of the curvature on the stick.
You mentioned in our first intermission that the plan that obviously Claude Ruel had set up, the Canadians, you were pleased to see them following it. Did they get away from it all in the second period?
No, they didn't. We still had Houle and Jarvis and Tremblay on the big line of Petrov, and hey, that line hasn't scored. So that plan certainly has worked, and they're the guys that really, I think, make the Soviet team go, not only the national team, but the Army team as well.
Again, I think in this third period, as you look ahead, Tom, you mentioned just before we came on the air, you've got to think of the Canadians who sagged a bit after the second goal. I think it's more a bit of a matter of emotion and mental outlook right here.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. That goal, you know, a long goal like that after all those opportunities, that takes a little out of the hockey club, and I'll be interested to see how well they come back emotionally in this third period.
Okay, Tom, thank you very much. And so we have one period to go. With the score, the Soviet Red Army 2 and the Montreal Canadiens 1. This is Super Series 80, live from Montreal.
Isn't that a beauty? My first fish, 7 pounds or 3.175 kilograms. Jack, I need a picture.
Oh, yeah, fish, right. Let me take this. It must be so heavy. You've carried it around all day. Let me get you a cold egg.
Right up there, kid. Hang on. Okay. My man. Hey, lovely. Let me have one. Sure, John. It's a great fish, guys.
Jack, take one of Don.
It's a fish. It's a board. Don, it's my fish. Come on, just one fish. Hey, we got it. Hey, thanks.
For years, Gene's wanted to share a little fishing and a little Molson Export Ale with the boys.
All right, this will go down in history as the first picture of a monkey holding a fish, right?
Come and get it, boys!
Molson Export Ale.
I didn't even open my beer.
It keeps on tasting great.
Well, there you see the rest of our schedule for the Super Series 80. The Red Army in Buffalo on Thursday, January 3rd, and then to complete the Red Army segment in Quebec City. Sunday, January 6th, and the Quebec Nordiques continue what is a phenomenal record of never losing in their first year in the National Hockey League on a Sunday. They are 11-0-1 on Sundays. And can they carry that magic through the Central Red Army? I remember a couple of years ago, a game on CTV they beat the Soviets national team 6-1. Of course, set to go now. There's the former general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, a Hockey Hall of Famer, Frank Selke Sr. Still a regular here at the Montreal Forum. Play is underway now from the face-off. The Canadiens now being exhorted by their fans. They trail by 1. Can they come back? The big question at center ice. Puck is cleared to the line. Off the stick of Harlamov. Down deep in the Canadian zone. Robinson runs into 70. The puck is against the boards. Mihailov clears it to the side of the net. He gets it again. Mihailov out in front. It's intercepted, and Gainey's got it. Gainey is checked as he hit the line. And Uhl bangs it off the boards at center ice. Petrov right onto the stick of Gainey. Gainey back for Savard, back to Robinson. Robinson at center ice now. Robinson hitting the line, winding up the shot. And that one seemed to handcuff Tretiak, and it drifted over top of the net off his glove. Now out in front for Gainey. He gets set, and he rolled to the side of the net. He was off balance when he got that pass. Unable to get a good shot away. Now out at center ice. For the Soviets, Petrov over the line. Petrov beating Harlamov, breaking down in on the goal. Harlamov shoots as he tried to set up the screen. Robinson blocked it, and Gainey Gainey along the boards for Jarvis, ahead for Uhl. Uhl is over the line, back for Jarvis. Jarvis said he shoots right on the rebound, up past Uhl, out in front again. And Uhl gets it at the blue line. Tries to clear it in. Harlamov had it bounce off his stick. It's pinned in against the boards by Jarvis and called for a face-off. We get a chance now to take a look at Robinson as Jarvis heads for the bench and the Canadiens make a change. Here's the shot, and it appeared to handcuff goaltender Vladislav Tretiak as it came in and just off his glove. Good shot by Robinson, and it drifted over top of the net. A minute 14 gone in the third period, 2-1. Interesting, the shots on goal totals. Of course, the Canadiens have the considerable margin in that department, 22-9. It's the individuals who are interesting, especially members of the Risebrow line who are out on the ice right now. Langway getting set, the shot, and Tretiak did not see that shot. And it went wide of the net. Now out at center ice, Makarov. Makarov, a lot of speed himself, and he hits the line, shoots it in. Engblom's back there with it. Around the boards, Lambert, he put it right on his Schluchtov's stick. Turning with it. And they clear it right back down into the Canadian zone, and Langway goes back for it. Langway clearing it out past the defense. This will be called for icing as Kasatonov goes back to touch it deep in his zone. It's called, and the faceoff will be in the Canadiens' end.
Well, it's interesting to watch how the Soviets are now beginning to forecheck. They like to do this quite a bit, but they send both their wingers in deep, try to neutralize both your defensemen in the center. In this case, the line out there, Zhluktov, plays in a very high slot position, and if you bring the puck around the boards, their defenseman on that side presses down on the winger, and the center, who is playing high, backs up whichever defenseman goes to press down. And so really what they're using is they're using a press with their defenseman as being an integral part of their forechecking unit, and the center being used in a backup position.
See Doug Jarvis out there taking the draw, although the rest of the Risebrow line remains out there, and Jarvis wins the draw, and the puck is out at center ice. Makarov clearing it in. Taken by Savard, clears it right to Makarov again at center ice. He's checked by Jarvis, gets the puck back to his own zone. The Soviets come right back. Balderas hops over the line, drops it off now. Soviets trying to get it in front, and it's knocked down by Savard and cleared out to center ice once again. Back there is Luchenko going back into his own end. Luchenko. Tremblay on top of him as Risebrough's back out there now. Risebrough checking Luchenko. Puck comes to the line to center ice, and Tremblay turns with it. Tremblay working in, and he shoots it into the corner. Lambert digging in deep after it as Kasatonov clears it around the boards right out to Robinson. Robinson getting set. Here's the shot, and he hooked that one over top of the net. Now Makarov at center ice. He's checked by Lambert, and it hops into the bench, and it's called for a face-off. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80 on CTV. There's the scoring in this hockey game. Yvon Lambert getting the only Canadiens goal from Mondu and Lafleur, and then Schluchtov scoring the first goal to tie it up, followed by Balderas with that shot from the blue line. Lafleur now along the boards on the far side. He hoists that down the ice. Shutt racing after it along with Volchenkov, and that ends up in the crowd. We'll have another face-off. We mentioned the Risebrow line. They have a total of 9 shots on goal going into the third period. 5 for Risebrow. He had 4 in the first period. Lambert with a total of 3. Tremblay with 1. But I remember back in that 1975 New Year's Eve game how this line came to the fore, especially in the forechecking mode, and they are doing much the same thing in this game.
Well, Risebrough, I think, is the catalyst, not just in this hockey game, but I think he's been a catalyst coming back off his injury for the Canadian team in the league.
Here's Langway, and that went off Gemaev's skate. That's Eric Gemaev. He's no relation to the defenseman. The defenseman named Sergei Gemaev. As here comes Lafleur now. Lafleur, if any man can take over this game for the Canadiens, it's him, and it rolls in front. Oh, it's not out of chance. Tretiak was right on top of that and steered it into the corner. Now a shot from the blue line by Langway. Canadiens getting their chances again. Here's Shutt trying to turn with it. He gets it in front of the net, and LaRouche was just a little too deep for it. Now LaRouche out in front. Here's Langway getting set. His shot is wide of the net. Bounces out in front, and it's cleared away to the blue line. Robinson shooting. That went off a skate, and Lafleur's got it. Lafleur out in front. Shutt shoots. Oh!
Just going haywire here at that point. They're all on their feet. Shutt parked in his familiar position, right in that high slot position. A lot of forechecking pressure. The Soviets gave the puck away a few times in that zone. Lafleur jumped on the loose puck deep inside the
opportunity coming. You see Shutt parked in that position, right in that high slot. The puck goes around behind. Lafleur digs it out. And this is where we mean about the pass. Right out in front, all in one motion. Shutt doesn't wait. Just high above the glove hand of Tretiak. And we're back at a tie at 2-2.
Well, the programs have pelted down on the ice here at the Forum. We've got a 2-2 tie. Let's take a look at this one again from behind the net.
Here we have it again. The puck, you see Tretiak trying to see that puck. Here you see Shutt. There it goes into the corner again. The pass out in front. Shutt, just all in one motion, just high. No chance for Tretiak there.
Lafleur and Robinson will draw assists on this one. And as we said, if any man can turn this hockey game around, it could be Guy Lafleur. And he is back out on the ice now, as we'll have the face-off at center ice.
Assisted by number 10, Guy Lafleur, and number 19, Larry Robinson.
From the face-off. It's brought to the line, and Grodzetsky gets turned around on the play, and Mondu comes back, clears it out to center ice. Napier can't get that one as the Soviets turn and send it right back in again. Lobanov, as out of the net is Sevigny, around the boards on the far side now. Volchkov, he stopped on the play. The puck is into the boards. They're taken by Grodzetsky. Around for Volchkov. Check thrown there. Savard out to the blue line, not out as Fetisov keeps it in. Now here comes Lafleur at center ice. Mondu to the line. Mondu cutting through the defense now. Stops up against the boards, clears it back to Englund. Englund had trouble with it. And Lafleur comes back to scoop it up at center ice. Lafleur battling for it along the blue line. Volchkov trying to get set in the slot. Here it is. The shot's right on the rebound. And that's cleared away by Savard. Now Lafleur. Things opening up. Lafleur in his own zone. Lafleur at center ice. Lafleur winding up. The shot's off a leg into the corner. And the Canadiens change on the fly. Now behind the net. Taken by Fetisov. Fetisov at center ice. Robinson cutting back into his own end. Robinson ahead for Gainey. What a game he's played. Here he comes. Gainey over the line with Uhl. Gainey clears it to the side of the net. And Fetisov has it. Fetisov out to Robinson. It gets by him. Langway comes across ice to scoop it up and clear it out over center ice. Now Gainey again. Gainey ahead for Jarvis. Gainey cutting for the net. Gainey in front. Oh, Gainey had a chance there, just couldn't connect on it. Now Robinson in front, hit the side of the net. Now it's Jarvis. Jarvis pinning it in. Kicks it over for Uhl. Uhl's bumped. Now the puck is in the corner. Starikov. He carries it out to center ice. At center ice, it's taken by Harlamov. He had trouble controlling it offside. With the score, Canadiens 2, Soviets 2. Super Series 80 pauses for a moment. A 2-2 hockey game with 14:27 remaining. Harlamov facing off against Risebrow. Rink-wide pass down into the Soviet zone. Tretiak will step out, let it go, and Kasatonov is back for it, and it's called on the icing, and back to the Canadian zone for a face-off. Off to the right of Sevigny.
Well, a very alert play there made by Tretiak. Tretiak came out, gave a little fake on Risebrough, who was coming in and trying to touch that pass, went to play the puck, let up, then he let his stick, just left it alone, let the puck go over the line, and it's called back for the icing call. But a smart play by Tretiak to ensure the icing.
The official scoring on that goal, Shutt from Lafleur and Robinson at 3:38. Lafleur has 2 points in this game. Lambert on a power play from Mondu, and Lafleur back in the first period. A 2-2 tie. And the puck is clear to the line, not out. Jarvis now gets it out to Lambert. At center ice, Petrov has it. Dropping it back into the Soviet zone, Luchenko. Luchenko loses to Lambert, but he takes it over now. Petrov's shot, and that went off the ankle of Robinson. Pops high in the air, and fielding that for the third out of the inning, Richard Sevigny. Now here's Dick Irvin.
A reminder that tomorrow afternoon, New Year's Day, CTV will bring you live coverage of the game from Calgary between Czechoslovakia and the Canadian national team, the team that we will see representing our country at the Winter Olympics in Lake Placid. 2 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow here on CTV, live from Calgary.
There's John Ziegler, the president of, that's Alan Eagleson and John Ziegler. Ziegler to the left, Eagleson to the right. Separated by the young lady, I noticed. Just kidding. On the face-off now, Robinson. Robinson to Savard. Savard cutting out of his own zone. At center ice, Savard now. At center ice, he shoots it in. Gainey digging in. Uhl Ahead for Gainey. Gainey now looking for a man out in front. Gainey to Uhl. Uhl stopped up against the boards. Tries to get it out in front, but Jarvis was coming in to assist Uhl, and it went right by him. Now starting out for the Soviets, Mihailov. Mihailov shooting it in. Sevigny out of his net. Robinson leaving it to the side of the net. Here he comes now. Robinson off the boards for Gainey. Gainey got to the line. Delayed offside as Robinson controls it, then sends it to Uhl. Uhl over the line now. And the Canadians change on the fly as out comes the Risebrow line. Behind his own net for the Soviets, that's Kazadanov. He loses it to Lambert, but Lambert is checked immediately, and Risebrow gets it. Tremblay. He just hooked it away from Balderas. Now Engblom. Engblom clearing it along the boards, gets it again, gives it to Lambert. They clear it in front, but it's intercepted by Langway, who's in perfect position on that play. Now cleared out to center ice, Risebrow for Lambert, and he overskated it. Now Langway ahead for Lambert, rather. He's in against the boards. Puck is still loose there, and Makarov comes back. Makarov at center ice. Makarov checked by Tremblay. He hits the line. Makarov trying to get free, and Lambert comes in, makes the check, and shoots it over to Langway. Langway up on the left boards. At center ice, Langway ahead for Tremblay. Goes all the way down to the Soviet goal. Gemayev, Balderas. Balderas in front of the net. Volchenkov ahead for Balderas with some skating room now. Balderas to the line. Balderas trying to get set. He's hauled down on the play, and Shutt hooks it out to center ice. Gemayev over on this side. Volchenkov shooting it in. And Sevigny, as it's called on the offside. From the Forum, the Soviet Central Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens in game number 2 of Super Series 80. All right, the face-off will be in the center ice area. And LaRouche Lafleur shut out there against Gemayev, the right winger. Center on that line is Vladimir Kovin, the left winger. Mikhail Varnikov, two-thirds of that line from the Soviet wings. They were a very effective line. Varnikov, of course, 2 goals in the game against the Soviet Union, or against the New York Rangers, rather, in the opening game of this series. Lupien on the ice, a rare appearance. A Shutt shoots it over the far side. Lafleur shooting it in. Shutt digging in after it. Shutt gets it again as he dropped it in front of the net for LaRouche, but good defensive play coming back by Starikov. He's played a good game now. Back out of the slot. Shutt gets it down. As Lafleur did a good job. There's Lafleur trying to get set with a man in front, controlling the puck now. Rolls it in front of the first man. On the far side, now LaRouche out in front, and Lafleur couldn't reach that one as Lupien gets it to the blue line. Now LaRouche checking against the boards, but it's cleared out to center ice. Gemayev now. Eric Gemayev over the line. He stopped on the play. Puck rolls in front of the net. Kovin, and he was tied up in the crease. Now going in after it. For the Soviets, Starikov in deep now. Savard gets in there. Shutt out to the blue line. LaRouche Shutt. 2-on-2, Lafleur. Lafleur on the far side couldn't knock it down. Stops against the boards and clears it to LaRouche. That's intercepted. Now Gemayev. Gemayev back over the line. Gemayev back there, the shot, and it's blocked by Lupien. Now against the boards. Cleared along the boards. Napier. Napier along with Lafleur. Napier can fly. He's over the line. Napier shoots, and that's off the stick of Kazadanov. Now Lafleur on the far boards. As it's held in there by Fedosov. Now Lafleur's got it. Rolls it out into the slot. Lafleur trying to get it again on the return pass from LaRouche. LaRouche has still got it inside the zone. Rink wide. Lafleur knocks it down. And it's cleared away out to center ice, and Engblom's got it. Engblom off the boards. Lafleur heads for the bench. Mondou's out there along with Napier. And it's cleared to Kasadanov. Kasadanov, number 21 to the line. He'll circle back. Kasadanov ahead now. Grosdetsky, and he's knocked down by Engblom, and Mondou has the puck. Mondou ahead. It's relayed in over the line by Risebrow. And the Soviets take over again as Kasadanov has it. Kasadanov losing to Gainey. It's cleared in. And the Canadians continue to change on the play as Gainey goes in and slams Kasadanov in against the boards. Grosdetsky over for Kasadanov. He shoots it out to center ice. Jarvis comes right back in again. Jarvis ahead for Gainey. 2-on-1. Gainey shoots. They went off a skate. 3-2. The Canadians are leading, and the Forum goes crazy again.
Well, Doug Jarvis was the one that made the good little play just inside the zone. Listen to this crowd. Listen to this crowd. They're going wild here with Bob Gainey's goal. The go-ahead goal. Canadians bouncing right back from behind that 1-goal deficit. Everybody's on their feet here. Very excited about this go-ahead goal scored by Canadians here at the midway point in the third period.
Bob Gainey, not a big goal scorer. Let's take a look.
Here we just inside the line. Jarvis tips it. Then it's Gainey and Houle, 2-on-1. Gainey uses Houle just as a decoy, fakes the pass, shoots. I believe it might have hit the Soviet defender who was going down, trying to block what he thought was going to be the pass across with a beat Tretiak for the goal-ahead goal. But there was Jarvis just inside the line. Gainey making a good shot. Here we see it tipped just inside the line. There's Gainey. You see the 2-on-1 in Fedosov. Fedosov going down, trying to block it. Tretiak got a piece of it using Houle as the screen. And it's a go-ahead goal, 3-2 by Bob Gainey.
Oh, my goodness. They're taking us for a roller coaster ride here tonight. The Canadiens were ahead 1-0. 2 goals in the second period, down 2-1, and they have scored here in the third period to take the lead again with 10 minutes and 1 second left. We'll have the official scoring in a moment. Gainey, Jarvis, and Engblom assisting. 9:59. The Canadiens lead 3-2. Now let's see if they can hold on to it. From the face-off at center ice, Petrov shooting it in. The Soviets will try and open it up now a bit. With 10 minutes left, it's clear to the side of the net. Now Petrov, checked by Jarvis, and Savard's got it. Savard along the boards. And in against the boards with Petrov and Harlamov. They poke away at it. Harlamov trying to get loose. Good check there by Uhl as he tied him up. And now they jam in against the board. Savard pinning it in, and it's called for a face-off with 9:30 left. Live from Montreal, this is Super Series 80 on CTV. Petrov will take the face-off. Not very often we see the centerman on this line, Mihailov, Tom, take the face-off here. They use Harlamov deep in the zone. And Petrov, depending on the situation and the positioning of the face-off, is from the face-off now. We see Robinson starting out. Robinson at center ice is going to hit a steam. Robinson hitting the line. Robinson with Gainey in front of the net, and he's finally taken out of the play by Gemayev. Coming across, the puck is cleared down the ice past Savard. There'll be no icing here as Harlamov comes down along with Savard. Savard bumps it in against the boards. He scooped it in there. Now he gets set, and the puck is cleared to the blue line, not out. Here's a chance for the Soviets as they try to get it in front of the net. Now it's cleared down the ice by Robinson, and it's called for the face-off as Gemayev comes back. Well, Bob Gainey has been listed by the Soviet coach Viktor Tikhonov as one of the finest all-round hockey players, if not the finest all-round hockey player in the world. And he has just played a tremendous hockey game tonight, but you don't expect offense from Gainey. He has been just great two ways, though, in this game.
Well, Gainey's, with his line mates Houle and Jarvis have checked the big line of the Soviets, and then they come up with the go-ahead goal here. But Bob Gainey's speed, I think it's Bob Gainey's speed. He's a great skater. I think that's why he shines internationally.
On the face-off, shot is blocked at the point. Here's another chance. That shot was just wide of the net. Now on the boards, Kazatonov, and he is checked by Lambert, and the puck is out at center ice once again. Luchenko, Makarov. Makarov skating along his own blue line, circling back as Lambert's in on top of them. Now Tremblay moves in as well, and they finally throw the puck away down into the Canadiens' end. Engblom's got it. No icing on the play as Engblom feeds it along the boards. Schluptov trying to get loose, and a good check by Lambert as they shoot it out to center ice. Luchenko with Tremblay right on top of him. He hooks it over to this side of the ice for Kazatonov. Kazatonov out at center ice. Langway knocked that one down. Langway ahead, intended for Tremblay. Luchenko's back for it, deep in his own end, and Tremblay's on top of him. Luchenko off the boards, and they put it right on Lambert's stick to Tremblay. Tremblay on the far side now. He bumps forward against the boards, and here's Risebrough. Risebrough as the Canadiens make a change. Tremblay going in. Tremblay behind the net. Tremblay out to the blue line. Langway shot right on. Oh, good save there. Out in front again. And a shot by Shutt, and it rolls into the goal mouth and is covered up by goaltender Vladislav Tretiak.
Well, there we have Steve Shutt again. Steve Shutt again. You see Tremblay just kept a hold of that puck. He didn't throw it away. He controlled that puck, and you see Steve Shutt in his very familiar position, right in front of the net, in that high slot position. There he is. The shot's away immediately, just like the goal he scored. Doesn't wait when that puck comes to him in that position. And he plays a little high, back where the defenseman can't tie him up. Good lesson to be learned there for young hockey players. Not right in front of the net where he can be tied up by the defenseman. Off a little bit where he has a good position to get the shot and not interfered with by the defender.
Canadiens' big line out there, and it's LaRouche facing off against Lobanov. From the face-off, back to Savard. He winds up the shot, and it's scored! Went off with the defender and into the net as Tretiak was going the wrong way, and there's Savard is
Tretiak moving to the far side. That little deflection. Here is so important, these draws, and the Canadian team have been winning the majority of them all night long. There it comes straight back to the point by LaRouche. Savard shoots the puck from the point. He's got enough time. The puck goes through. There you see Tretiak going to the far side for the original shot, but when it hits the defender in the short side, really no chance for the goaltender.
Faceoff will be at center ice. They say it deflected off Shutt, I believe. I don't know whether it did or not. We didn't get a good view of that, but Fetisov now has the puck at his own end with the Canadiens leading 4-2. They'll try to keep the pressure on now, keep the play down in the Soviet end if they can. Here's Grodzetsky. He's slammed against the boards by Robinson. Puck is along the boards, and Shutt's got it. Now Robinson, and he is dumped on the play. The puck goes to the far side. Savard's got it. Savard clearing it to the blue line to center ice now, and Lobanov leaving it for Volchkov. Volchkov over to the far side. Fetisov. Canadians leading by 2 in this hockey game now. Lobanov, a shot right on, and 70 off balance, shoveled it away. Now Lafleur. Lafleur can't get loose, but Savard's got it. Savard ahead for Lafleur with Shutt. Now Savard to Lafleur. Lafleur over the line offside. Hard to hear the whistle with the crowd going the way they were. The score is 4-2 Canadians. Super Series 80 pauses for a moment. From the face-off, the puck is down in the Soviet end. Gemayev getting it to Mihailov to Petrov at center ice. He stopped on the play, and it's Gainey again, flying over the line. Gainey, and Gemayev gives him a solid slam against the boards, and the puck is cleared around the net by Volchkov. Out at center ice, the Canadians will go back into their own end for it now. Engblom off the glass at center ice now. Volchenkov dropping it back for defenseman Sergei Gemayev, and Gainey again gets it and shoots it in. Gemayev will go back for it. The Canadians changing on the fly now. Out at center ice, Harlamov down the right boards, checked by Risebrough. Here's Tremblay with the puck, and he shoots it back in. What a job this line has done in the forechecking mode. Now here's Lambert poking the puck away. Still inside the zone. It's cleared out to center ice. Harlamov knocks it down. A 2-on-1 break now over the line, and it is knocked away. Harlamov unable to get that pass from Mihailov, and it's out at center ice again. A rink-wide pass, Mihailov. 5:56 left in this hockey game. Mihailov checked. Risebrough lost his stick. Picks it up. Clears it to the line. Petrov to Harlamov. Harlamov chased off the play by number 17, Langway. And he rides it out in front. Intercepted there by Engblom. Off the boards to the blue line. Kazadanov. Langway around the boards for Tremblay. He hooks it out to center ice, and down goes Risebrough as he tried to go after it. Kazadanov's got it. Ahead now for Harlamov. Harlamov over the line. Petrov. Petrov trying to get set, and he put it behind. Mihailov, and Lafleur's got it. He comes down 1-on-2. Stops in. Watch LaRouche in front of the net now, as Lafleur finally overskated it. Now he goes in behind the net. Over for LaRouche. LaRouche back to Lafleur. Lafleur back to the point for Robinson. Robinson right in front of the net, and LaRouche deflected it just wide of the far corner. Puck is out at center ice. Shot. Taken by LaRouche. LaRouche unable to control it. Gets it again. Here's the 2-on-1. LaRouche is over the line. Shoots. Oh, good save. Great save by Tretiak as he got his skate on that one. Now LaRouche again. The Canadians continue to put the pressure on. Puck against the boards. Petrov has got it. He clears it out to center ice, and there it's off the stick of Robinson. Robinson deflects it up into the crowd, and it's called for a face-off with 4:40 left. Don't forget, these Soviets can explode on you. And the Canadians are doing such a great job of keeping the play down in the Soviet end of the ice.
Well, they're not going to explode on you if they do what they did in that last shift. That big line of Petrov stayed out a little too long there. They stayed out. The Canadians were able to make one shift change on the fly. They had their good checking line of Jarvis out. Then they got Risebrough, Tremblay, and Lambert out against them. And they did a good job checking. And the Soviet big line stayed out for 2 full shifts. And you just can't do that. And play against the good checkers of the Canadians at that point in the hockey game.
Shots on goal in this period, 9-2, favor the Canadians. They've had the territorial domination they had in the first period, but they've scored the goals this time. 3 unanswered goals to take a 4-2 lead. The puck is behind the net. Down goes Tremblay, and it's underneath, I believe, Fetisov, either Fetisov or Tremblay, and it's called for a face-off, and Fetisov is slow getting up. Now, remember, Fetisov had a bad back last year, and he just may have taken a bad crack on the back of that netting there. We'll take a look at that again, perhaps, if we can see it, but he is a little slow getting up, and I believe he is hurt. from the Forum, the Soviet Central Red Army and the Montreal Canadiens in game number 2 of Super Series 80.
Well, there we see Fedosov down, and the trainer looking at him in the corridor just behind the Soviet bench. Fedosov down on his hands and knees. The trainer looking at the back of his leg. It looks like a leg injury. He's hobbling to the room at this point. I don't know if Fedosov's had a bad night. He has the bad eye as well.
For the face-off now, the Soviets at center ice. Makarov down over the line. Makarov with Savard on top of him. Rolls to the goal mouth, and 7U flips it into the corner. Risebrow off the boards and down the ice. This will go right to the goal mouth of the Soviets. And Starikov is back for it with 4:07 left in the hockey game. Canadians leading 4-2. On the far boards now, Makarov can't get past Tremblay as he's hit from behind. And the puck is back inside the zone. Starikov again. Out at center ice. A rink-wide pass. Balderas over the line. He takes a shot. Oh, a screen shot. 70 got his pad on it. Savard ahead. Risebrow. Risebrow at center ice, flipping it in. And the Canadians are changing very, very quickly now, moving their lines. They make the change now, and Gainey's got the puck. His shot. Oh, the save. Puck is in the goal mouth area. Cleared past Gainey off the stick of Uhl. At center ice, Jarvis hooks it away. Savard's got it. Savard into the Soviet bench, and is called for a face-off with 3:27 remaining. Here's Dick Urban downstairs.
Just a reminder that at the conclusion of tonight's game, as is the case throughout Super Series 80, the Molson International Awards will be presented for the most valuable players, one from each team. That's coming up immediately following the end of the third period.
Now tell me who in the world you're going to vote for in a selection like that.
Well, here we have Balderas just off the side of the net having the good shot. And Balderas has been dangerous every time he's had the puck for the Soviet team tonight.
Well, we mentioned at the outset of the telecast that he was one of the ones to watch for, but Guy Lafleur also, and Lafleur right at this moment is winning in that particular department. He's got a couple of points in the game. 2 assists. Here's a shot from the blue line. Ends up in the corner. Engblom loses it there. Here's Lobanov's shot, and it's blocked right in front by Savard, who went to his knees to ensure that it wouldn't get through to the goaltender. Now against the boards, Lafleur can't get loose. Savard gets it and gets it out to center ice, and Gemayev will have to go back into his own end for it. Gemayev deep in his end. Gemayev working it along to the boards, out at center ice now, taken by Drostetsky. Over the line for Lobanov. Lobanov trying to get set, gets it back to Drostetsky, but he was tied up on the play by Shutt. It's back to the blue line. Will take off, and the shot. That was blocked by Savard, I believe. Now back out, it's stopped by Lobanov. Shutt gets it. Shutt clearing it out over center ice. And Gemayev will go back for it. No icing on the play with 2:43 left. Now over to the far side, taken by Volchkov. Volchkov gets the return pass at center ice. Volchkov over the line, coming in on Engblom. It rolls to the goal mouth. They clear it in front. Nobody there. Back out to the blue line it comes. Kazadanov shoots wide of the net, and Engblom's got it. Around the boards, taken by Gainey to Jarvis. Jarvis at center ice over the line. He winds up the shot, and that bounced up off the ice in the stick of Tretiak. And the Soviets take over at center ice. Down to the line now comes Mihailov. Mihailov checked partially by Tremblay and then wrists it into the corner. Harlamov goes in. He's bumped by Robinson. It's held in there. They poke away at it. Now moving in, getting a shot away is Luchenko, and Gainey comes away. Gainey leading Tremblay with it. Tremblay goes in. Tremblay shoots, and play coming back by Kazadanov, and we're going to have a holding penalty. 1:49 left.
We see Vladimir Tretiak down after making that stop. The big collision just in front of the net. Here we have a look at it. The long pass catches the Soviet defenders. Tremblay breaking to the net. He's all by himself. Here he is moving in. Soviet defender has to put the little grab on him, just pulls him down. There we see the collision. Tremblay breaking into Tretiak in front of the net. 2 minutes for dumping him, holding him at that point. Here we have Gainey, that long pass. Tremblay breaking behind. Here we see the grab, the left arm just pulling him around by the shoulder, into Tretiak. They go down in the pile-up. The puck came loose there. If anybody had followed up that play, it was in the net.
Here's the announcement of the penalty.
Red Army team's penalty to number 21, Alexei Kasatonov. 2 minutes for holding at 18 minutes and 11 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, I've watched the Canadiens play throughout this year, and the one thing they haven't been able to do in a single game this year is put together 3 solid periods of hockey. I'd have to say they've finally done it.
Well, I think emotionally, I think the Canadiens are certainly ready for the hockey game tonight, and they've worked hard throughout the game. They had a little bit of a sag. I think that after that second goal, beat Sevigny from the distance, that took a lot out of the team, but you have to give them credit here. The Stanley Cup champions have bounced back here with 3 goals in the third period after being down 2-1 at the end of the second. They have a definite edge in shots, and I feel that really it's been a gutsy performance by the Canadiens here tonight.
1:49 as you saw on the clock. The Canadiens on the power play, leading 4-2. They have Mondu, shot Lafleur. Lafleur gets it, front to the point to Savard. The shot, good save by Tretiak, and they try to chop it loose. Savard's got after it in the corner now. Savard going in against the boards along with Bolchenkov. Lobanov moves in, and it's called for a face-off. 1:39 left.
You know, one of the things that amazes me about Guy Lafleur, not only is he a great hockey player, he has all the skills that a great hockey player has, but it's his conditioning. He's been double shifted at certain times tonight, played on a number of different lines, and he's flying. And Soviets are supposed to be in shape, but certainly an athlete like Guy Lafleur is in great condition.
I have to give a little bit of credit to Mr. Claude Ruel across the ice. He had a team well prepared. Lafleur taking the draw here, and it comes to Shutt back to the blue line for Robinson over to the far side. Savard will take it off the board. Savard into the corner, past Lafleur to Shutt behind the net. And going in there with Shutt is Bolchenkov. Shutt's got it though. Shutt out to the blue line now. Robinson goes to his forehand, shoots it in there. It's loose in front. Lafleur! And down goes Tretiak as the Canadiens get their 34th shot on goal. And Lafleur just wheeling on that play. Watch him from behind the net.
Actually, it's a very tricky play by Lafleur. Here he is. He comes right around, right on his back. Whoops, there we go, right around his backhand. You see Tretiak smalling to make the save, and Tretiak is one tired goaltender. 35 shots here, a lot of them in the third period, as the Canadiens have certainly dominated and taken over in the play. We get another look at it. Puck comes to the point. Here we have the shot coming through. Watch, whoops, there's a little spinorama, shooting all in one motion. Tretiak going down and killing the rebound.
Shots on goal, by the way, 4 years ago tonight, 38-13. Favor the Canadiens. They settled for a 3-3 tie in that one. On the face-off, puck at the side of the net now, taken by Starikov, and it's cleared out to center ice. We've got 1:15 remaining in the game as Savard over for Lafleur, cleared in now, and Lambert will go in deep after it. Along with Starikov, cleared along the boards. Robinson gets it at the blue line, but can't contain it. And it's Makarov. Makarov turning with it. Feeds it ahead now. Shluptov. Less than a minute remaining as Shluptov goes in, gets a little room, shoots, and Sevigny's down. The puck is loose. Sevigny's up, and it is called as referee Bruce Hood lost sight of the puck. Although it did pop free, he lost sight of it. 51 seconds remaining. We're going to have a standing ovation for the Canadiens before this is over.
Well, here we see Shluptov going wide, and he uses his big size here. Here he gets, see that leg getting in front there, cuts to the net. Sevigny makes a good play to come out so that Shluptov doesn't have enough room to get that puck over him. But there were 2 big men. We have Sevigny coming out, but we had Shluptov just cutting the outside. Robinson with his size reaching for it. But Shluptov was able to get that leg in front, but he had no room to put the puck over top of the sprawling Sevigny.
Well, we see Bob Gainey out there right now. Bob Gainey has what is right now the game-winning goal. Team Canada for the NHL All-Stars in the Challenge Cup. Bob Gainey had the game-winning goal in the game the NHL won. Well, he gets the big ones. 4-2, 41 seconds left. The puck is cleared back in. Savard is back to get it. In forechecking for the Soviets, Makarov. He'll just stand there. He's got lots of time. 32 seconds remaining in the game. Nobody's going to make a move at him. Savard will stay there. Now he feeds it off to the far side. Engblom. Engblom at center ice. Engblom shooting it in. 22 seconds left. Starikov is in after it. Around the boards to the far side. 15 seconds remaining. Puck is still inside the zone. Jarvis has got it. Jarvis getting set. Jarvis now with Savard at the point, but he puts it into the corner. The countdown's on. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This game is over. The Montreal Canadiens coming from behind with 3 unanswered goals in the third period. When the Soviets normally take control of hockey games, the Canadiens were able to withstand the pressure. And look at Claude Ruel out on the ice. There's a happy fella. And the Canadiens with a standing ovation from the fans as they shake hands at center ice.
give the Canadians credit. They came from behind that 1-goal disadvantage at the end of the second period. They had sagged a little in the second period after the second Soviet goal, but they stormed back very, very strongly here. 3 goals in the third period, and actually outskated the Soviets by quite a margin.
With the score, 4-2, Canadians over the Army. Will return with the Most Valuable Player awards in a moment.
Mesdames, Messieurs, les trophées internationaux Molson veulent honorer le joueur par excellence de chacune de ces formations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Molson International Player Awards are presented tonight to recognize the excellence of performance of the outstanding player on each team. Nous invitons Monsieur Eric Molson, vice-président exécutif des brasseries Molson du Canada, à venir au centre de la patinoire pour la remise de ces trophées. To present the awards, we ask Mr. Eric Molson, Executive Vice President of Molson Breweries Canada Limited, to come to center ice to present the mementos of this game. Maintenant, la présentation des trophées Molson internationaux, dont la sélection a été faite par les commentateurs des réseaux TVA et CTV. Now, the winners on the Molson International Awards, selected by broadcasters of CTV and TVA. Le meilleur joueur de l'équipe de l'Armée Rouge. For the Red Army team, le numéro 22, number 22, Viktor Shlukov. Le meilleur joueur des Canadiens, for the Canadiens, le numéro 23, number 23, Bob Gainey.
So there you see it. Mr. Molson in the center with Shlukov to his right, your left, and there is Bob Gainey. You know, you go back to the last emotional moment at the Montreal Forum, and it was when the Canadians won the Stanley Cup back in May. And that night, Bob Gainey was named winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy, and he drew an absolutely tremendous ovation from the crowd. And tonight, same thing. A big win, great emotion, and Gainey named the top individual once again. A popular choice. So the Canadians win it. Final score 4-2. More to come. This is Super Series 80 on CTV.
Everything is clean.
So there you see, Shlukov and Gainey, the individual award winners, and Steve Shutt, who scored 2 of the Canadians' 3 goals in the final period, is with me. And as he walked down the corridor, everybody was applauding. I can't recall that happening, Steve. The emotions are running high. How do you feel? Were the emotions high in the dressing room and throughout the game for you fellas?
Well, they were high, but we tried to keep them to a minimum because if you ever try to really play very emotional, that's when you start making mistakes. But you have to go out there with, especially with the Russians, and you have to play a methodical game and try and cut down your mistakes, which what we did.
Tom Watt said during the intermission he felt Claude Ruel had done a pretty good job in a very short space of time, as usual, coaching you fellas, getting you ready.
Well, he's really turned the team around. I think a lot of players have respect for what he's done. And what he's done with the team for the last 8 years. You know, he's always given his all to the team. You know, he's made mistakes like everybody else, but, you know, as he says, he plays and coaches with his heart. And, you know, with that type of enthusiasm, it's very hard not to, you know, catch it and to play well for him.
Steve, it showed tonight. You know, I just checking in the 2 New Year's Eve games that we'll talk about, the shots on goal, 73-27. Was Tretiak starting to psych you fellas out there after a while?
Well, I think if you see all of the games we've played against the Russians, it's a very typical. What happens is we always probably double them in shots, and you know, we play a different style of game. We play more of a shooting game and go for the rebound, where they try to set up and go for the perfect play, and as a result they don't get as many shots. But it's just a different style of play. That's all.
Well, tonight your style of play was numero uno. Steve, congratulations on the 2 goals, big win in what was supposed to be an exhibition game, but let's face it, it's more than that. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Steve Shutt of the Canadians, who scored 2 of the 3 goals, as I mentioned in the period. Just to review the 3 goals that were scored for Montreal. Shutt from Lafleur and Robinson at 3:38. That tied the game 2-2. And then Bob Gainey scored what proved to be the winning goal. It came at 9:59 from Jarvis and Engblom. And then the icing on the cake, Steve again from Serge Savard and Pierre LaRouche, right off a face-off in the Soviet zone at 12-10. Shots on goal in the final period, 14-5, 35-14 overall, Montreal. The boss man of the Players Association might have to be neutral when he watches some hockey games, but these are occasions, Al and Eagleson, when you are not exactly neutral. This is, to use the old cliche, this is what it's all about.
Well, I think the feeling of the fans at the start of the game, when Canadians got a 3 to 5 minute standing ovation, to let them know how their fans feel about international hockey and the Canadians against anybody. And they put on a great show, and we needed this one. As a league, Canadians needed it as a team, and from the Players Association and the league itself, I know that John Ziegler and I are very happy. We sat together during the game, and between my wife and I shouting our lungs out, and John doing the same with Sydney, it was a great night. It's nice to win.
Al, we don't have that much time. I want you to look ahead a bit to the future and the next big confrontation, I guess, after this one's over, because they still have more games to go, the Canada Cup.
I would think that this September, probably starting September 15th till October 1st, we'll see the Canada Cup with the same 6 teams, and you'll see 90% of the players from Red Army playing for the Soviet Union. My guess is you'll see 30 or 40% of the Montreal Canadiens wearing Team Canada uniforms. If tonight's play is any indication of what we have in store with international hockey, we've got some great, great games ahead of us.
Al, I heard you on a radio interview saying that in a series like this, briefly, that Montreal is key. Montreal is the pivotal.
If Montreal Canadiens don't perform the way they did tonight, if the fans don't feel about these games the way they did tonight, there's not much chance in playing the games. The other nice thing, I don't know if you heard the broadcast, I predicted last night Montreal would win 4-2. Not bad. Everybody thinks the fix is in now.
Alan, you better, I don't know whether, the media types, we always get in trouble with our predictions. We'll have to take a tip. Al, thank you very much again. Congratulations on helping put together what obviously is a great series.
Thanks very much, Dick, and a Happy New Year to everybody.
All right, now Ron Roosh and Tom Watt are standing by, and they're going to take a look at some of the highlights of this very exciting hockey game. Gentlemen?
Well, just tremendous excitement, Tom, and what can you say about a hockey game like that? It gave us all a very happy entry into the 1980s, I think, mainly because I thought we had 2 great hockey teams out on the ice. Both teams, certainly the Canadiens, showed a tremendous amount of courage in the game.
Yes, I thought really Canadians, especially I was really impressed with their condition, because usually what happens in games like this, the Soviets, because they are in great shape, they come on in the late stages. But I think tonight it was a different story. I think the Canadians really took over in the later stage of the hockey game, and the third period was completely theirs. And the Soviets were the team that sagged. They looked a little tired, I thought, and there was great skating by the Canadian team. Certainly 3 straight goals and a gutsy performance.
Well, that was the thing that I think they're all concerned about, is many times this year we've seen the Canadians sort of sag in the third period. But this time they kept the pressure on in the other end of the ice, and it led to a couple of goals, as a matter of fact. I think as we take a look at the highlights of that third period.
Well, certainly, here's the first goal. We see the shot coming from the point. It comes right through, and Guy Lafleur is the one who makes the play. As the puck comes around behind the net, he wheels and throws the pass right out in front of the net. It hits the Soviet defender and shut in that high slot position. Makes no mistake about the goal. Shut is really dangerous. That's where he likes to be, in that high slot. Here we see the second goal is tipped in. Jarvis makes the great play here. Just tips it by the first Soviet defender, creates the 2-on-1 opportunity. Now Gainey uses Hull as a decoy here and really shoots the puck. Tretiak got a piece of it, but it went in the net, and that was the winning goal. Here's the importance of the face-off. The puck comes right back to Savard, and although they gave Shutt the goal here, he might have touched it, but I thought it went off the Soviet defender on that shot from the point. And this is one thing that I think, not just in this game, but I think the National Hockey League teams, they've dominated the draws. I think that really the draw men, especially in this game tonight, Jarvis, and then in that last opportunity there, the one from LaRouche winning the face-off, they dominate the draws, keep possession of the puck, and that's very important against a team like the Soviets who control the puck so well.
Very quickly, Happy New Year, Tom. I know you're out to Calgary. May you start the new year the way this one ended. Now let's go back to Dick.
Thank you, Ron, and with me is John Ziegler, president of the National Hockey League. Again, someone who, sitting at hockey games, has to remain neutral, so-called. Not tonight. The emotion get to you a bit, Mr. Ziegler?
It sure did, Dick. It was a great night. Good way to bring in the new year.
I think the National Hockey League itself has to gain by a thing like this, and I suppose you feel that it has to gain from a series like this.
Well, I think that hockey gains all over the world. I think you saw 2 outstanding teams play. You saw outstanding hockey. You saw tremendous emotion with the fans. I think hockey gains.
This game, I don't know if we mentioned on the telecast, was seen live in the Soviet Union on television tonight, dealing with the Soviets. I know you made the announcement last summer about the new plan you have with Soviet hockey officials. How is it working out?
Well, this is the first step in the 5-year plan. Alan's indicated to you that the Canada Cup, which is part of the plan, we'll probably have some more club team games next year, and then we'll have a Challenge Cup hopefully in '82. And as long as we can keep having the quality of games like we had tonight, I think the fans will want it, and I'm sure all the participants will too.
Your opinion of games in the middle of your season, club teams as the Canadiens tonight, as the Sabres will be Thursday, opposed to the Challenge Cup concept?
Well, it's very difficult on the clubs, on the players. They have to break their quest for position in the league. There's a lot of pressure on the players, but nevertheless there is I think a need for it, a demand from the fans to see international hockey, and the players have responded well, and hopefully we can continue it.
You mentioned the players responding. What is the general attitude of the players in the league to have this interruption?
But it varies from team to team, Jack. Those that know that it supports overall their pension plan, that it really helps the league, and those that look at it that way support it. Those that look at it just as an interruption feel that it is an interruption.
Well, I tell you, it was a pleasant interruption. I thank you, Mr. Ziegler. Appreciate it.
Happy New Year to all.
Right. John Ziegler, President of the National Hockey League. Canadians have won the game 4-2. And so on behalf of the CTV Network and the sponsors who have brought you Super Series 80, this is Dick Irvin for all of the telecast crew, bidding you a good evening and reminding you to join us Thursday, January 3rd for Game 3, live from Buffalo, 4-2 Montreal. Happy New Year from the Forum.
The Soviet Central Red Army in exhibition with teams of the National Hockey League. Live on CTV, Super Series 80. Brought to you by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer. Teams of the NHL in exhibition with the Soviet Union.